Mahtook. Got the boys in. I got Lloyd. We got J Mitch. We got Jackie Boy.
He tried to jump up and he might have knocked it in.
Good timing. Let's go. What a start to the Monday. I mean, I'm from Lafayette. My boys will come in and say,
oh, God. So me and Joe on the ground. I got Joe in the headlock. And he's sitting there, he's punching me in the stomach, like, punching me.
Here, is everyone sitting around? Who here thinks Chico can practice today after having 5 full beers? And he goes, Chad Jones, right? Chad's doing the team 6 minutes. For 7 minutes, right? Chad's like, no, man, I don't think Chico can practice today. And I was like, I look back, I'm like, Jesus Christ. I saw you there. You were more fucked up than me.
On the spirit plane had some issues, I think. She was sleep farting.
you heard her or you just thought it was her?
I sat right next to her. I smelled it.
Whoa. What was that?
Time
Good show.
For 7 minutes, right? Chad's like, no, man, I don't think Chico can practice today. And I was like, I look back, I'm like, Jesus Christ. I saw you there. You were more fucked up than me.
On the spirit plane had some issues, I think. She was sleep farting.
You heard her or you just thought it was her?
I sat right next to her. I smelled it.
Whoa. What was that?
Good show.
Now, when you do go to spring training, are you gonna bring your chinchilla and your turtle?
My dad tell you about it?
The SEC is, God, they hate fat people. I mean, I get crushed for that. You know what I mean? It's like, come on, man.
Hey, just the South, bro. You got a bunch of food down here. Like they should.
Look at Lloyd.
You know what, Lloyd?
You're looking for a recruiting coordinator, coach. I'm here.
He's like, I'll piss my pants right now.
No way.
We're wearing gray pants, long gray pants. He goes, I'll piss my pants right now.
Hello, hello, hello. Welcome back to Mik'd Up. Today is Wednesday,
Battling over here.
November 20th, They tried to hold us down today. They tried to keep us down, but we're not. We're going to fight through it, just like LSU is going to try to fight through this coming weekend.
Tapping our lines and shit.
We are coming through this. We're going to fight through adversity, and we battled through it, and now we're here. And we're here. We have a big show for you today. Great show for you today. Now, the reason why they try to hold us down is because every time we get a special guest on the show, they, for some reason, technology wants to make it difficult for us. But we fixed it, and Lloyd did a great job. Good job, Lloyd. Let's give Lloyd a round of applause.
Don't panic.
Thank you. Don't panic. You got to stay poised in all situations. You did it. You got it back right. It just happened out of nowhere. We are excited to have.
They tried to hold down new media.
They did, but they can't do it.
They can't do it.
They can't do it. We're coming.
We coming. Yeah, I'm kind of missing.
Well, fuck. Dion said it. Dion said it. We coming. He said we're coming there.
Yeah,
they
but
are
he didn't
coming.
set
They're
his
kinda
jaw.
here. Yeah, you're right. Dion does have 8 toes though. You know, so he has
Coach O coming down the hill in 2018 for the Alabama game is something that should be revered, even though you got blown out and didn't score a touchdown.
Yeah, that wasn't.
You look like he could have played.
That wasn't a good game. But we don't have Coach O, and I'm actually happy that we don't have Coach O. A lot to talk about. Obviously, Chase Shores in studio at 7 o'clock. Before that, we have a lot of conversation. I cut the Monday show short. I apologize for that. Had some personal matters that I had to attend to. Everybody's all good. Everything got situated, figured out, but I needed to be available at that time. So we're going to continue that conversation, talk about the football team, obviously talk about what's next, talk about Vandy this weekend. Obviously, Diego Pavia brings a whole challenge that we've already seen the issues with that we've had with the running quarterbacks. He's a little bit different of a type of a running quarterback, more of like a, hey, let me get out of danger, run around, weave in and out of traffic type guy, as opposed to Jalen Milroe, who is going to run you over or run by you for 75 yards and a touchdown. But Diego Pavia has beaten Alabama, almost beat Texas. Vanderbilt is going to come in here, and they're going to try to continue the miserable month of November that LSU has been on right now. Hopefully, LSU can right the ship, figure it out, blow these guys out, blow Oklahoma out, finish the game on a high note, get to recruiting class, get to the recruiting signing, get to the signing day, have the recruiting class come in the picture, and have some positivity around the football team. Now, with the new class and the portal, would not be shocked. We would not be shocked if you see a lot of movement.
Moving parts.
A lot of movement in the portal, right? Some guys that may leave that you'd be shocked that are leaving. Some guys that we're going to go out and get in the portal. So we're going to get some good ones probably that are going to come in the portal. You're going to lose someone that you probably don't want to lose in the portal. I think the main thing is getting impact guys out of the portal to come back into LSU, veteran guys with the young recruiting class that we have coming in, so that you have some sort of, succession. You don't want to throw a bunch of freshmen in there and have them go.
So is it fair to say that guys really only start moving around or talking to people once the portal window opens, and then when it closes they stop? Is that fair?
So that's that on paper, that's what it's supposed to be. It feels like there's a lot of tampering going on. And maybe these guys are just talking. Maybe there's just rumors about the pairs talking without talking to any coaches. I'm just putting my name in the portal without having heard from anybody. I doubt that's the case.
There's no way a coach is going to reach out to someone and be like, you know
they got to worry about their games, you know what I mean?
Ohio State was like, you don't think we could use Caleb Downs? Maybe let's just put a feeler out. You can't talk to him. Well, I can talk to his high school coach, and he can talk to him.
Right. So, there's ways.
Let's talk to him, and when the window opens, too.
Yeah, you'd be the first one to reach out.
There you go.
They figure out ways to get in there, right? No doubt tampering.
Carrier pigeon.
Yeah.
Morse code.
There you go.
Dude, we'd be a great catchphrase, Dan.
No
I like that.
Yeah. No doubt. But LSU has a home game tonight. Obviously, we can talk about all those other things. The matter at hand is obviously LSU Vandy this weekend. We will see how that goes. We're going to talk about that game. Running down the rest of the Heineken headlines, it is Wednesday, so it's Ask Mikey and Mitch Wednesday. Throw your questions in the chat if you haven't done so already. We'll get to as many as we can get to. We're going to, bullshit with everybody, have a good conversation for the next 30 or so minutes, get to some questions, and obviously Chase is going to come in at 7 o'clock, and it's going to be the Chase Shores show after that. So
I don't want any. There's no Ask Chase questions unless they're good.
Unless they're good, Lloyd will ask him.
Lloyd will steal them as his.
As his own question.
Right.
Yeah, no doubt.
So you're not going to get any kind of credit for it anyway. So
yeah, you might as well. You can put it in there; it helps us. But
really is unbelievable. I get no credit.
Yeah,
you've been doing this for a while now.
Yeah, no credit.
Tiger droppings, love you.
College football playoff rankings came out again yesterday. A lot of interesting decisions that were made in the rankings. Obviously.
Now,
what?
do you want the graphic for the rankings or the bracket?
See, what do we think? What do we want?
Do we have them both?
One matters and one doesn't.
Can you put one on the next side? Can you put them side by side?
I can get both.
Let's get both. We're going to talk about that. Obviously, Georgia was on the outside looking in last week. They are no longer on the outside looking in this week. They are in there. Tennessee is on the outside looking in, right, as of now?
I believe so, yeah. I think so.
I believe so. They have BYU technically still in as a 12 seed based off of if the season ended tomorrow, that's what's going to happen. Big top 5 matchup this weekend in Indiana and Ohio State. That's a big conversation, right? If Ohio State loses to Indiana, are they still in? Probably. If Indiana loses to Ohio State, are they still in? Maybe. Depends on how the game goes. If they get their doors blown off, I don't know if the committee is going to look favorably on that. If they play them tight, maybe they are in. What?
Breaking
News already.
Michigan flips 4-star safety Elijah Dotson from Pitt.
I knew you were going to do that. You're an idiot. What?
Also goes to a certain high school in Belleville.
I was about to say, what school does he go to?
Yeah. Watch out now.
Yeah, but that guy wasn't coming to LSU ever.
He's going to Pitt.
Yeah, he's going to Pitt. So it's an upgrade.
Plays on the other side of the ball.
It's an upgrade. Let's not look too much into that. I know.
Congrats, Michigan.
Good job.
Hey,
Congrats,
that's
Michigan.
the one you were waiting for.
You got the 4-star.
That's that breaking.
Maybe you gave him a couple dollars from the 10.5 that you offered Underwood. Hopefully we keep him. Listen, we got 3 weeks left before signing day. We'll see what happens. But the college football playoff, obviously, we don't know what's going to happen. I think they said last night that they believe that the SEC and Big Ten both could get 4 teams in. That's what they think could happen. Who knows that's going to happen? Obviously, you have the championship games, which could throw a wrinkle in some of these things. If Ohio State no, I guess they couldn't lose 3 games because they would lose. They'd be out of the playoff anyway. I guess the playoff would be either Oregon, Indiana, or Penn State, right? One of those 3 teams. Or Ohio State, I guess, if they beat Indiana.
Yeah,
if they beat
State,
Indiana.
Yeah.
Those 4 teams. So we shall see how it shakes out. Obviously, they love Notre Dame, and they want to keep them at that 5 seed. And that seems like that's where they're going to be, even though they lost to NIU, which is not a great loss. They're playing Army this weekend. I do not believe Army is going to beat them, but it would be fun if they did. Army is ranked 19th.
Crazy what they're doing with Notre Dame. Just imagine if any one of these either Big Ten and or SEC teams had a loss to that caliber team. Yeah, you'd be worn out about it right now, and it's kind of crazy where they're keeping them at right now.
No doubt. But it's going to be interesting. Obviously, nothing's ever perfect. Nothing is ever perfect as far as these rankings go. Nobody liked the BCS because it was computers and, they had their formula and they didn't love the formula and you don't have anybody really watching the game. And then we went to the college football playoff and
2-team playoff.
What's that?
2-team playoff.
Well, 4 teams.
We went to 2-team first.
Did we?
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
How do you go to a 2-team playoff?
Actually, you're right. It was
4
teams.
teams. Yeah, 14.
See, Jay Mitch has that competitor in every game's a playoff game.
Yeah, every game playoff game. Yeah. But so you have that from I think 2014 was the first year.
Ezekiel Elliott, rest in peace.
Yep, for 10. To me, that was probably the best 14 best playoff games they've had was the first year. And then you have that for 10 years. That worked better than the BCS. Obviously, a lot of controversy. It worked so well that they want to add more to the playoff thing. So now you have this 12-team.
Better than the BCS. LSU was turned up very favorably into BCS.
No, I know, but I think the conversation was better. I think the teams that there's always going to be arguments on who got left out, who didn't get left out. But I think that people like it better than the BCS, which I think is fair to say. And then they've now increased it to 12 teams. That's a 2-year trial run. Are they going to go more? Probably, I would imagine. But we'll see how this 12-team playoffs plays out. Look at the matchups, though. Like, if it ended today, and we're going to get to the LSU conversation, but if it ended today, obviously you have the BYU, Ohio
LSU
State.
is not involved in this conversation.
No. BYU, Ohio State, whatever. Alabama at Notre Dame. Notre Dame. No, is it Alabama
at Notre Dame?
Yeah, Alabama at Notre Dame. Love that. Georgia at Penn State. Love that. Ole Miss at Indiana. Like, really good that they haven't matched. It's not their fault, but there's no SEC teams matched up against each other, and you're playing a lot of interconference play, which is great.
I'll tell you this, if it actually ended like that, like let's just say that this is how the playoffs started, and those were the home games that kind of got set somewhere, and let's say if the SEC came out in that and just walked through all of those teams, it would be bad for the rest of this whole playoff situation going forward, because that would be a huge leg to stand on in terms of how many SEC teams gets in. So like I don't know if they actually want it to be that way, because if it happened that way and the SEC teams found ways to win those games and maybe won them convincingly, that noise would get loud.
The top comment on this post is FSU screwed again.
Oh goodness.
So they're 1-10, 1-9. But the crazy thing about it is, right, like you have Miami's right there as the 3 seed. Is that the 3 seed?
That is the 3 seed, yes.
And they have a loss, obviously, to Georgia Tech. They have to play in the ACC championship game, which I guess Clemson can still get into, right? So if they go and lose that championship game, then Clemson sneaks their way back in because they win. Like,
conference champion has to get in.
Yep. So, that can obviously throw a wrinkle in it. They talked about not being shocked if you have a 3-loss SEC team in. That's obviously if they go in there and lose in the SEC championship game. So, gonna be very, very interesting.
What Jared said is something that I find very, very interesting, because you've seen SEC teams lose to other conferences in bowl games, but those bowl games didn't matter.
Right.
This one matters.
Yeah. So now we can really.
And so you're about to find out how much ball these people in these rooms that are sequestered away and on jury duty actually watch. Because if it's like, oh, it happens all the time. Look at the past history of what happened in the Cotton Bowl. Like, buddy, if the SEC has something on the line, there ain't nobody opting out. You're about to see, and if you put belt to ass from the SEC against every team in the conference, Danny Cannell's gonna have to retire.
I'm gonna also say too, outside of the opting out situation too, like I don't think people realize like how much of, if you're not playing for these marquee real championship type games, this is the absolute last push, the last 10 yards of the 100-yard meter before the recruiting window was kind of closed at that point of the time too. So a lot of the prep and a lot of all of that stuff kind of gets interrupted a little bit because these coaches go do what they need to do to hit the recruiting trails right if they're not in the big type game.
Right.
So that in itself is what kind of takes a little bit away from game prep and how they go about doing stuff in those weeks too. So yeah, it's a little different this time when it comes down to this, because you won't be having the outside distractions. Obviously, it'll still be pretty much during the same time of the year, but everyone realizes like the ultimate goal is still at hand at that point. And nobody's going to be opting out and trying to find, well, what's the next most important thing?
So, let me ask you this. A&M has 2 SEC losses? Are they? Yeah, because they have 3 total losses.
Yeah, they
lost to Notre Dame, and then they lost to
A&M lost to South Carolina.
South Carolina was the second loss. That's right. So I was gonna say
was the third loss.
The third loss. That's the second SEC loss. Yeah. Because I was saying, I was like, what if they go and make it to the championship? I don't think they can do that now. I guess they could if everyone else just collapsed, but.
Well, that's why
you potentially could have two loss teams in the SEC playing. Because if A&M beats Texas last game of the season, does that put A&M in?
The only scenario I prepped myself for was the LSU scenario.
Me
and
too.
That took a lot of digging and a lot of like, wait, I might be able to pass the class, only to take the next test and then, oh fuck, I failed it actually.
Damn, I cheated off the wrong test.
Yeah, everybody else did their job. They passed you the notes.
Yeah,
you had everything you needed.
You grabbed the wrong version of the test.
I sit in that front seat for History 1057. You get to pick whichever one you want.
A, B, C, D. You took the D. You should have taken A.
Yeah. You took the L.
Yeah, it didn't work out. It's going to be interesting. Obviously, the college football playoff, I think, is doing what everybody wanted to do, creating conversation around college football. There's going to be some drama at the end of it. There's going to be some arguments. There's going to be some disagreements. There's going to be teams that should have got in that didn't get in. That's always going to happen no matter where they go. But it's going to be fun to watch. Unfortunately, LSU will not be in there. They will be on the field this weekend, though.
Will not be a part of that conversation.
They will not be part of that conversation. They try to keep them there as long as they could in that conversation. And LSU, as Will Campbell said in his interview, we have been put in the right positions. It's up to us to execute and win games, and they have not done that. And same can be said with the actual rankings. They were put in a situation where they could go out there and if they executed and won games, they'd be right where they needed to be at the end of the season. That did not happen. I think Will Campbell's interview was great. I think the way he matter-of-factly talks about the issues and talks about how it's not up to the coaches. Like, the coaches have put us in the positions to succeed. It's up to us to execute and play well when we're there, and we haven't done that. And we don't deserve to win these SEC games with the ways that we've playing. Not that we can't, and not that we don't have enough talent, but the way we've been playing, the way we've been executing, not good. We're gonna miss him. I know people are probably disappointed. Oh, we're not running the football, this and that, and whatever. But he's obviously shown the leadership skills, obviously on the offensive line and in the locker room. We're gonna miss that. But you got 2 games left to play, and you got to play against Vanderbilt, who has their best season since
ever.
No, they had like some 9-win seasons with like Cutler, and then who was the guy after Cutler? They had whenever they had the guy at Penn State.
Oh, James Franklin.
Yeah, who was the quarterback for him?
I mean,
because they had 2 straight years where they won 9 wins. They had 9 wins under James Franklin, which that's wild.
And he's doing the exact same thing.
I got it.
Did the exact same thing that he did at Vanderbilt at Penn State, but
Right.
it seemed to be much harder at Vanderbilt than what he's doing at Penn State, where he's absolutely sure. Nobody has benefited more from
No,
this.
the 12-team playoff was great for
Notre
them.
Dame and Penn State. Let's run it back to the
Great for
80s.
them.
I'm sure
Great
we're going
for
to
them.
talk about a lot of
The
what Penn
12-team
State
playoff
did.
is great for that third. It's really great for that third. Whoever it is, that third Big 12 team.
Yep.
It really
And
is.
it's always Penn State.
It has been. I wasn't going to say that, but it's been really great for whoever that third Big 12 team is.
And Notre Dame.
In Notre Dame. Do you know? Did you find the name of the court? Or are you even looking? Were you looking?
That's what I'm doing now.
Okay.
If you ask me a question like that, I can't think without.
No, I know.
Yeah.
I know. I just didn't know if you were looking. I thought you were typing in the chat, and I would have just moved on to the next topic. But this weekend, right? Can't make the playoff. Now, everybody talks about the regular season not mattering. I think it matters. I think there's a lot to play for moving forward. I think there's a lot to be said about pride.
It's Aaron Rodgers' little brother.
Jordan Rodgers. Yeah. I think that I think these next 2 games will show more about LSU and where they're headed than really any other stretch they've had this season.
Let's be honest. Tell the truth of it. It doesn't really matter. If you're a coach and you're in that building, there's always an angle. There's always a way to flip it. There's always a way to go, right? You got guys in your room, in your position room, in your offensive meetings or defensive meetings who has been probably taking calls, who has been having their eye halfway on the goal and halfway out the door.
Calls from their high school coach, though.
Out the door, I'm here. You know that you can sell this as, hey, what you put on tape is what people see.
Yeah.
You know the guys that are possibly going to the league. You can sell this as what you put on the tape the last 3 weeks. It's not you. Here's you. You got a chance to do this on the back end on your way out of here. So there's always ways of selling what you have in front of you as what's most important. I expected to do that. I expected these guys will come out and play spirited because it is that time of the year. You're making your last push, and whatever your last push may be, it is no longer as a team the college football playoffs and or an SEC championship, but there is individual goals that these players have set themselves to. There is things that they've wanted to do themselves, and they have that opportunity, and now it's, are you going to go out there and push and do it? Because I think with 3 straight losses, this is probably an easier way to sell it in the sense of, hey, you don't have the tape right now to sit here and say, I'm out. I'll go get ready. No. You got these 2 to go do something with, because guess what? Vanderbilt's been a very good opponent for people this year, and then you're going to end the year with a marquee program who has typically and traditionally been very good as well. So it's, there's 2 big games left for them, and I don't expect to see drop off in terms of effort and how they go out there and play.
Right, and look, if they can show the same effort that Florida showed last week against LSU at Florida, obviously it's a little bit different because the rivalry and all the stuff with the AD came out and said, hey, Billy's not leaving, he's the guy, all that kind of stuff, right? But to your point, right? Hey, you're putting film out there. You always want to put good film out there, and you always want to put good tape out there. And going out there and these teams, and it's going to sound cliche, but this is something that they would always tell us coming up. Hey, they don't care about you when you play well. They want to see what happens when you play bad. Like, how are you responding to playing like shit? Right? Are you gonna be a kind of a little bitch and just put your head down and walk away? Or are you gonna like kind of fight through it? Right? So, these next 2 games, as far as tape goes, is going to show a lot about who they are to these NFL teams and to other teams that they may want to transfer to and say, damn, they were out of it, but this guy was playing his ass off for the last 2 games of the season. So
it sets the tone too for those
for the offseason too.
Well, getting to the offseason, but
Yeah.
the group of guys that you're also still trying to court to make sure
Yes.
you keep them here.
Right.
Saying like, hey, look, there's a standard here that we play by. We may be out of where we are, we may have fallen short of what we wanted to do, but you didn't see any drop off through the rest of this schedule. And I think that'll kind of play for those guys they're trying to bring into this program as well.
Yeah.
See, y'all, I understand that y'all are former players from both baseball and football, and like that's the perspective you want to give. But I'm thinking, like, you are worried in a sense about like effort, I guess, if you want to be, but I don't think that they're going to do everything that you just said that they're going to do.
Yeah, they're going to play hard.
I'm worried that it's more of the coaching staff and where it is and putting them in a position to succeed to where it's not frustrating and to the point of where it is right now where you have feels fundamental.
Well, according to Will Campbell, they are in the position to see. They're just
well,
not
what do you
executing.
think he's going to say? Like, oh, this shit sucks.
No, but I'm not saying that they are or not in the right positions.
No, I'm saying you have enough players to be able to beat Vanderbilt and Oklahoma.
Yeah, enough players to beat
So
Florida.
I'm confused. What were you? What's your worry?
Mine's more on where the coaching staff is right now and what they're trying to decide.
I think that entire room of coaches understands like, hey,
no, I think
it may be me, so let me make sure I do me to make sure I'm where I need to be. When this thing's over and we're finished at 12.
Can I ask a question? Do y'all think that next year or this offseason that Brian Kelly will bring somebody else in to help with the offense and like kind of demote without demoting Sloan?
I think these last 2, kind of like the conversation we had last year, man. I think these last 2 games bode huge because when you got to the meat of the schedule and you played the best teams that were on your schedule,
yeah,
the offensive production took a big dip. And so when it took a big dip, it's like, all right, can you figure it out on the back end? Because if not, are we sure we can go ahead and go forward with this next year? I would imagine not, simply because let's just say you have Nuss back again, you probably will want him in the same system. I would imagine not, because there's probably one recruit that's like an elephant right now that you probably want to keep the relationship with and keep here. But
I'm not,
if the dip kept going.
Right, and I'm not saying get rid of him.
No. That's my point. But here's the thing. I mean,
like he's the OC.
No.
He's the OC.
Let's be honest.
Don't even take the title away.
Tell the truth.
But he's there, and you have someone else to help him with the play calling. Right? It doesn't really change the scheme, but help the.
Mike,
hey,
let me ask you a question. Are you taking that?
No, I'm not taking that. But where is he going to go?
What my point is not about where is he going to go. At that point, like, you got to think about it. Like, all right, if you're going to tell me someone else is going to come in who does not run this offense, this is not their offense, and he's going to run my offense and or be my advisor to run my like, how does that logistically work?
I don't know. They did it in 19. So,
but this is a Joe Brady situation where Joe Brady's the OC and you're bringing
no,
in
I understand,
another.
but
like,
that's a
but
little
it's
different.
my shit.
But I don't think it will work in this situation.
They're not going to get rid of him because they have obviously Bryce Underwood coming. They're not firing him. But I wouldn't be shocked if you saw them bring somebody else in.
Here's my question. Since we say that,
in an analyst role probably.
Look, I'm not calling for any of this shit to happen. But let's just say in the event that whether they went out or they don't, in the event that someone were to get fired at the end of the year, who would it possibly be?
Bob Diaco, his best friend.
I don't know who it would be.
Special teams stink. Told y'all.
I don't know who.
I'm just saying, historically, not even just LSU. You can just look around like the landscape. When years like this happen, there is subtractions. So where is the subtraction going to come from?
I want my pound of flesh.
Right.
Who am I getting it from?
It's gonna be.
Done that.
Yeah, but because the conversation has to be is, hey, look over here. We're making the moves to show you that we're getting better. So who would be the subtraction?
And I don't know. And to me, I think the answer is subtraction by addition, right? To where you're not getting rid of anybody, but you're adding somebody, and maybe without demoting them, maybe adding help to their role to making their role a little bit less.
But that's what so that's why I'm asking you. How on earth would that logistically work every day going forward if you did something?
I don't know. You would have to make it work, or he would leave. Like, he's not getting fired, so you're either going to resign and go somewhere else, or you're going to figure out how to make it work and figure it out.
And
you know what I mean?
I think that Bryce Underwood is signing up for Joe Sloan to be the offensive coordinator as well.
For sure, and he's still the offensive coordinator.
But I don't know if you I don't think.
But bringing in somebody else maybe to help them with
it can't be
game
a big
planning
name,
or scheming or whatever.
And that's the thing. Like, if it can't be a big
cuckold
name,
him.
Yeah, exactly. So it's like, who do you bring in?
You
Another
go to the
young,
corner, watch.
I don't think that would be one that would actually.
Or
happen.
I don't know.
The answer is happening now, and I don't know if it's for better or worse, but your answer is on staff, and he's the head coach, as he's already donned the headset and the play sheet. And
that's possible.
That's
a possible one.
Like,
and I think that's one that would, whether he liked it or not, you'd be like, all right, I got to swallow it and go with it.
And Brian Kelly very much made it known that he's called plays for 30 years, and but actively wasn't involved in when his team was struggling. Like, maybe I should get in there Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, or Friday.
He's
trying
to push that. I don't believe that's at all what it is.
But Saturday he shows up with a
totally misconstrued that one.
But Saturday he showed up with a headset on. He goes, maybe I can help. Let's see. And now.
Oh yeah, he just thought. I'm
that's
just gonna start talking about it now.
That's the first time. That's the first time he picked up a call sheet. Let me tell you. On the Saturday, that's the first time. Let me see.
Wait. Let me walk into this meeting and see what's going on, as opposed to saying, "Oh no, I know what's happening."
No, not the meeting. Give me the headset and give me the play call.
Yeah.
I don't know what this is. That's what Lloyd said. You're unbelievable.
Yeah, I'm not buying into that one.
You're incredible.
I really hope they decapitate.
Offense looked different.
Have a seat.
Offense did look different.
You can have a seat.
You're incredible.
You can go around the camera. See
Wait,
what
you think it looked different because he grabbed the call sheet on Saturday?
There's a bigger issue here because of what I heard in the press conference, which I don't know. I don't guess y'all aren't privy to them, but they're on YouTube. He said that now that he has the headset, you're a quarterback, right, Michael? You played quarterback?
Yes.
He now has not only Joe Sloan in his ear, now Brian Kelly is in
his
ear.
So they both have access.
That is a lot of talking in the ear.
I
would say that. What if
Oh,
it's like one gets one ear, the other one gets the other ear?
This ain't a fucking cell phone. Don't say hello.
This ain't a three-way call. Why are we on this thing?
Why? I don't like that. That's too many. That's too many voices.
As a team that has been throughout the year very good at being able to get on the line of scrimmage and hike it.
Yeah, not having false start penalties at all.
Or calling any timeouts on your first drive. That doesn't happen at LSU at all. And you're constantly snapping the ball with 2 seconds left. Because you're waiting until 15 seconds to where Garrett Nussmeier finally gets to play quarterback. You have Joe Sloan calling a play, and Brian Kelly said, I don't call plays, I call off plays. So you're like, no, don't run that. And then it's like, okay, well then give me the play I would like to run because I'm looking at the clock. And we don't. At some point, that's going to hit 0, and then you lose 5 yards.
Yeah.
And now it's 3rd and 11, and now you're out of field goal range, and you miss a field goal.
Right. That's not.
And you lose.
Yes, we've said that 3 times in a row. We've had that. It's not great. I don't know. There's going to be something going on next year. There's going to be some sort of changes.
Get on this headset. What y'all talking about? Let's go, boys.
There's
going to be something. Not that play call. Do a different one. Which one? I don't know.
Yeah, that's how it goes.
That's
exactly
what Lloyd. They pay him $10 million.
That's what he thinks happens. That's what he thinks happens.
Can we start making Bring Moffitt back T-shirts?
Well, we want that too.
Oh, he needs a microphone.
Oh, we actually need a mic, for them. That's one thing we didn't do.
You can say it. I'll get a mic.
We'd love to bring Moffitt back.
Bring Moffitt back.
We talked about that last show.
We did.
BMB.
We talked about that last show. How they need to bring him back.
He's really working it.
You're gonna have to get another one that's not in the stand. Oh, actually. You could take it off the stand, and just let them hand it to each other.
Bro, the Aggies could be dangerous. Man.
What?
Hot take. The Aggies could be dangerous. Hot take.
What do you mean could be dangerous?
I mean, like, they could be, like, next Alabama type deal. With the money they got and that head coach.
Well, that's right. They've been saying that they're gonna have to go out and start winning and doing it. Yeah, no doubt. But they said that when Jimbo was there too. Oh, I'm just saying with the money, with the money they got and the recruits they got, I do think that he's better than Jameis. I'm talking about he had the most legendary recruiting class in the history of college football at A&M. So I'm saying this guy is better. But I'm saying that has always been the conversation that if A&M figures it out, they have all the money to be able to do what they need to do.
They were like a high dollar Ole Miss with Jimbo, and now they got this guy. This guy's a ball coach.
No doubt.
Like,
No doubt.
could be good.
No doubt. We'll see what happens that last game.
No, I'm actually looking for
that last game of the season. We'll see. Yeah, we probably should have thought about that one.
Yeah, that's okay.
I mean, we've had it before. There's got to be another court somewhere.
I'm looking for the chest. There's a lot of things here now.
The chest either there or there.
I know it's there, but there's no. I can't even get to it. I'm gonna go try. So y'all keep having a great show.
Okay.
I have to
Thank
do
you.
Something
That means
else.
you get a lot of TV time.
Who?
You.
Can you put me and him both on the screen?
Mm-hmm.
Thank you. So we both get TV time. Yeah, we'll see this weekend though. LSU just needs to do something positive.
I mean, with Vandy.
I mean, Vandy could beat them. They beat Alabama.
I know.
I mean, they held Jalen Milroe to 13 yards rushing. 13.
That guy's a sack.
He ran for almost 2,000 yards against us.
That guy is so good.
Once a year.
That guy is
Once a year. Oh, you're just going to use that one?
Man, this
You're not going to talk? You're not going to be part of the show?
This is how it's going to work for now.
Okay.
SEC is just a different animal, man. Now, NIL. I mean,
Well, it is. I mean, it's
and economies of scale are going to dominate in NIL, in my opinion. Like Nashville, right? That's a hell of a friggin'
No,
city.
well, you're saying Nashville. I'm just telling you right now.
Like-
I before talked about it before. I always talked about like it doesn't. Y'all do real. Where the most billionaires, I think it's either billionaires and or millionaires per capita sits in the United States in what city?
California.
Dallas.
Dallas, Texas. You know
That's
what
why
schools
do you think
you know what
SMU is
schools
doing
in Dallas, Texas? SMU.
Yeah.
Now I'm not saying they're all SMU alumnus, but I am saying if you are that wealthy and that well off, and you just want to be a part of that ring in Highland Park, Highland Park, in that area, that's probably a good one to start donating and giving to. And I'm not saying they've done it all already. I'm just saying like it's
and here's the deal: SMU's in the ACC,
so they're easy to get behind.
And they're in a situation where they can always be in the championship game, and they can always be in the playoff. And first year in the ACC, they're there.
So like Nashville's got the thing too. Like, and I'm not saying they're obviously they're a much better program than what they've been in the past. I think they're always going to battle with how hard it is to get into Vanderbilt. That's always going to be a thing in terms of that. But like, man, you can go anywhere around the country and find a spot with maybe a big alumni backing and or like you said, a hot spot area. Man, that ain't hard to find a school like that just pop up out of nowhere. Yep.
California, USC, UCLA.
Yep.
They
Just wait. I think it's going to change a lot.
Well, it's been good. I think it's been good for college football because if you have the money and you have the backing in your schools, it doesn't matter where you're at. But if you have it, you're able to compete, right? Arkansas has got a ton of money that they can start throwing into some places. Yep. You got schools in the Midwest that have all these alumni that want to be relevant. Indiana's going to get money thrown into them. So, like, all these schools are going to start getting this money thrown into them, and they're going to go out there, and maybe they have a guy in the Midwest that's good. They don't let him leave, and they'll keep him there, and they'll be able to be good.
I saw the other day, 400 and a small number, like 420 of the 500 Fortune 500 companies are headquartered in Bentonville, Arkansas.
Right.
There you go.
420 of the 500. Bentonville, Arkansas. You know what's right next to Bentonville, Arkansas?
Arkansas. Mm-hmm. Right. I mean, and then Arkansas alum just go to the top three. Walmart, Chicken, what's the Tyson Chicken,
yeah.
and Jerry Jones.
So here's a question. This is what I think of when I think of this too, because now it's pretty obvious. You can no longer old school way of SEC was able to do things was they stockpiled all the talent. All the talent came to the league. You were able to stockpile it. You were able to be 2-3 deep at pretty much any position you wanted to be. Well, now those guys no longer sit. They take the money, they go elsewhere, they go play, and they get their time to play, right? Does this bring more of a premium to the kind of coaching that you have? Because I think the days of basically watching undefeated teams get to a national championship year in and year out, I think that's kind of gone. I'm not saying it's not ever going to happen again, but I think you're going to start seeing a little more parity everywhere. So now do you start saying, hey, I know we're paying this guy $10 million, but if we get the guy and maybe we lose 1-2 a year, but we keep getting to the playoffs and he keeps winning through these games, we're winning.
As long as they're in a strong conference, like I don't think you're going to have any undefeated teams in the SEC.
No, but it's going to happen.
If you do, their teams.
No.
I mean, they're going to be loaded.
It's going to happen. It's not going to be an every year thing anymore. That's out. The parity's here. It's out. It's going to be the undefeated seasons are the outliers from here on out. And if you do it, like it's going to be hard.
You'd have to be in an uncompetitive.
No, it's going to be hard. I'm not at all saying
SEC,
that.
man, like I don't know if anybody will go undefeated anymore.
No.
There's no way.
I know.
Like 2019 season.
Think about this, dude.
I don't think
South
that
Carolina was like a middle tier team. Nobody thought they were going to be as good as they are, right?
Dogs.
And should have beat LSU. They should be leading the SEC because they should have
got-
beat LSU and Alabama.
Yeah. You got players too, man.
Right.
Like, they're good.
And they're going to be there for a long time. Their whole defensive line is going to be there. I think the best guy's a freshman.
Well, that's what we say. We don't know that. And that's the crazy part.
Unless he transfers.
Because you could have somebody like Florida had one of the best DNs in the country last year, and he said, you know what? I'm good. I'm a transfer. He's no longer there. So you never know which one of them might move. But my point of it is like that's what. So if that's the case of it right now, it turns so much more when it comes to parity. It turns so much more to what the NFL and pro model is like. So now you're like, well, how do we coach these guys up, and how do we keep them here and do what we need to do? Does coaching become that much more of a premium? Even though right now you're like, man, they pay a lot for coaches right now.
Yeah.
Does it go up?
No, I think it goes down. I think the players get paid more. I think it turns
well,
more and more like
they're going to come into and have a
this revenue sharing.
You're going to have the revenue sharing. That's going to really cap it at the end of the day anyway. So like, what are you going to do from there?
I don't know. I think the coaches actually become pay wise less valuable than players.
It's the NFL.
It's the NFL.
Right?
Well, I'm not saying you become.
I think you're going to get young. Look at how many younger coaches. Like Joe Brady's a great example, right? Like look at all the younger coaches now getting involved. Head coach for the Dolphins,
McDaniel.
Like all these young coaches now, because you can get them at a lower premium, right? They come in, they're more forefront of the game, right? They're probably get along better with the players, just from a relationship standpoint. I don't know. I think college starts looking a little bit more like that too.
Well, that's always going to be the circle. These guys are going to get older, and you have to go younger.
The only thing is the spending of it in the pro is so much. It's such a higher scale that I think you can pay coaching less in that situation and do what you need to do, because the player is always going to be the one.
Whether you want to believe it or not, the coach, you have more responsibility and you have a bigger job in coaching in college football than you do in the NFL.
I think what happens, and this is just my projection, is you end up taking either Power 4, Power 5 conferences, and they create their own conference from the NCAA. You take SEC, Big Ten, ACC, and you create your own league of however many Power 4 or Power 5 conferences you want to put in, and you have a commissioner. And I think
Nick Saban.
Coach Saban will be
no doubt.
commissioner.
We've been saying that from the beginning of the show.
And
no doubt.
Today?
No, like we've been saying that.
You're going to have salary caps, and
sure.
It's going to literally be a mini NFL.
It's going to be the NFL.
But and I guess so. The only reason I bring it up the way I bring it up is because just take this past year, last 2 years. You take C.J. Stroud and you dump him in Texas, and all of a sudden he has a great year, and now you start to outlook for 15 years. Who's going to sell more in that sense? Because you got him for 15 years. A C.J. Stroud jersey or a DeMeco Ryans T-shirt, which you don't even really have a T-shirt because it doesn't matter. So that for that reason is why the players get paid so much more in that league. You're not gonna have a kid here as a quarterback for more than 4 years. Right. If he's that good, then you ain't gonna have him for 3 probably if he's that good. Right. So that's why I think the coach is always gonna be at the premium compared to the players for the most part here, because you don't have that longevity. That's the only reason why.
Yeah, look, what Kirby's getting paid, 12.5 a year or something like that? Something crazy. I think he's the highest paid coach, so he's getting like 12.5. It's wild. That's crazy. It's a lot of money.
Honestly though, I think it all comes down to recruiting too.
But that's part of it.
You always go back to the 19 season. It's like I think you can put together a super team like that through recruiting, but keeping the dynasty, you got to have a good head coach.
Yeah, and that's
because you got to do it year. You have to do it year after year.
You got to do it year after year, and that's exactly why I say you can't just bring in Joe and hey, we got Joe for 15, we'll figure it out. No, you got to recreate Joe.
Yeah,
there's probably
feel the way of trying.
Did you find one?
Joe. Oh, did you hear me?
I did hear you. Did you not? Did you not find one?
I tried.
So how are we gonna do this?
I
just.
I don't need to say anything.
Yeah, but we can't. It doesn't have enough
We'll
room.
give him the mic. I don't need to say anything.
Okay, you get over there.
Try. I'm talking about the microphone.
Oh, that's great. We just don't have a cord. What's up, dude?
What's up?
What's up? Welcome to the show.
Good to see you, man.
What's up, man? Thanks for coming on. You can.
Sure, Michael, you like sit on your lap.
You want to sit? You want to sit right here next to me? You can move that around, do whatever you gotta do, because you're taller than everybody else here and bigger than everyone else here. So I appreciate you. We were talking shop. We didn't get to any Ask Mikey and Mitch questions. Do we have any before we get to him?
I think we should go ahead and do this.
Did you go straight there? Well, I just wanted to have a little segue of like not jumping right into it, letting him lay the land first. You know.
Chance Perk comes back.
I think it's high, unless he transfers out. I think it's transfer out or come back to school. I don't think he's gonna go to the draft.
You can't get him retail.
Yeah, I think he's probably. I think that's probably the best. And I say it because it's by the time you get to pro day and or the combine, like he's not going to be able to do what he, he's not going to be able to test like that.
Yeah.
Which would be the thing that would kind of get him out of here. So I do think there's a high chance he's back in college ball.
Yeah.
For LSU, probably, hopefully here next year. That's
Hopefully.
what I would imagine.
All right. Good segue, Lloyd. Let's we'll finish the Ask Mikey Miss questions at the end of the show. I don't want to keep our next guest waiting. Appreciate you coming in, Chase Shores in studio. We've been trying to get you in for a minute. Obviously, it's football season, but now it's no longer football season because LSU stinks at football, and they keep losing, and it's not fun anymore. And
Tell them how it is.
and so now we're watching basketball. They're 3-0. They had a little issue last night with College of Charleston. I think that's who they played. It wasn't College Charleston. Charleston Southern is who they played last night.
One of them Charlestons.
Yeah, one of the Charlestons. But then baseball's right around the corner. Chase, you have been this is your third year, right? Obviously, it's kind of been a weird deal. You came in here, freshman, Sunday starter, blowing cheese, blowing people away, being a guy everybody's super excited. Then obviously you got Tommy John. You go down, you recover the rest of that year, all of last year, and now you're back and you've been on the mound. How has the transition been getting back on the mound? And how was that rehab process for you through the last year and a half?
Yeah, it's been good so far. Just kind of happy to be back out there. When I went down my freshman year, that was pretty tough. But I think it helped me become a better player and a person. So it's been good. I'm just happy to be back out there with my boys. So
what was how long did it take you? Because it's not the games yet, right? Like it's fall, and I'm sure there was some adrenaline because you hadn't pitched in a while. Like you're pumped to get back out there, but the fall games and the games in the spring have completely different feels.
for sure.
What was the hardest thing for you, or what took the longest to come back for you, getting back on the mound, right? Like, is it feel for the off-speed pitch? Is it feel for, because like the first thing that when I would off-season, right, we play in the off-season, I wouldn't really do anything. You wouldn't play in the game. The weirdest thing for me was like getting back in there and like kind of getting like the visuals of the stadium again. What was kind of the weirdest thing for you, or the hardest thing to kind of get back?
I would say just like the way my body moves, like in game, like everything's like much faster. So just kind of getting used to that. Just trying to keep like a slow, steady heartbeat.
Bro, you look like you're about 7'2" in this frame right now.
But he's almost 7'2".
I mean, he's what, 6'9".
This is great for the draft.
I mean,
awesome.
Clay's every bit of 6'4". I'm sitting next to him. He looks like he's
suit up.
I looked over at this thing. I'm like, bro, what? I was like, what's going on over here?
I got your weenie over here, Weenie Junior, sitting over here next to Chase. Do some push-ups.
My bad. I didn't mean to do that. I couldn't help it.
Anyway, so finish what you were saying. It was weird.
Just weird getting back into it. The game-like experience is much faster than just playing catch, doing the rehab stuff. So I think that aspect of it took me a little longer to kind of figure out. But I'm back and I'm ready to go. So
You just can they hear me?
Yeah, a little bit.
You just talk loud.
You just blew out too. You weren't like having arm trouble. You just kind of. When I had
random.
TJ, like I was having like constant trouble, and my biggest thing coming back was just feel.
Mm-hmm.
Like I almost didn't know what it felt like to not have my arm hurt. After battling through just constant elbow.
Actually, I say the hardest thing about the layoff was the background. Me and Jay Mitch come back throwing for the first time. I'm throwing straight at his shoelaces.
From
my
30 feet away,
My
too.
elbow's about to explode. I need a picture as I'm throwing shit at his shoelaces. I'm like, boy, I got.
Well, and you're on the pine for so long. It's like you just like, all right, how does it like? Your lat sore, your shoulder sore, your chest is sore.
Is it sore? Does it hurt? Or is
like,
it what's
what
going
am I
on?
doing? Like,
yeah.
okay, like, did I just blow out again, or is that scar tissue? Like, when you have TJ, everything is scar tissue.
Yeah.
Like, hey, trainer, like, hey, doc, my elbow, I kind of felt like this. Oh, it's just scar tissue. That's just scar tissue. I'm like, fuck, I hope so. Because, like, I swear I tore my UCL yesterday. Like, no, you're fine, dude. It's just scar tissue. I'm like, fuck. That was miserable.
And you can't even tell your dad. You'd be like, sack up.
No, there's scar tissue. Lactic acid. I'm like,
get a
I don't
massage.
think that even exists anymore.
Go get a massage.
Yeah.
All right, you got a question?
Yeah,
Jay?
so I guess my question for you is go back 2 years with as early as it happened in the season. I always want to know this because I don't know exactly when yours happened too. How did you approach like the rehab process? Because you obviously knew like, all right, I'm cooked this year. Yeah. I don't know when I'll be back and when I'll be ready next year, if I'll even be ready next year. Did you take it slower early on? Did you you obviously have a very competitive, personality, so I'm sure you wanted to just, hey, hit the ground running, but you also knew I really do have time. So how did you approach that whole situation?
I approached it like I was trying to get back to compete in the SEC tourney this past year. So
I thought you
I was
doing
doing
that year. Let's say
no. I was doing everything.
The rumors were out there.
Well, this year.
No. That was this year. I'm talking about 2 years ago. I was like, wait.
Yeah,
hold on.
I did everything I could to try to get back as fast and as safe as possible.
Yeah.
So, but it didn't end up happening, and kind of glad I took my time with it. I'm in a much better position because of that.
Let me ask you this. So, obviously, if they get through North Carolina, were you active?
Oh, yeah. I was
You were
ready to
coming
go.
in?
I was going to throw live ABs on that Tuesday and then be on the roster for Supers.
God, that hurt. I think it makes everybody else feel
Yeah.
bad.
What was that? How far out was that?
That was about, I think it was right at 14 months.
That's about right.
13 and a half,
They say
14.
between what 13 and 18 months,
Yeah.
right? Is like depending on the recovery if there's any
Definitely.
setbacks.
I know there's like days where it's like, you feel great one day, the next day you're like,
Sure.
what happened? When was the first day where you're like throwing and probably, I don't know, maybe you get to 90 feet and you're like, this feels normal again. Like I'm letting it go, I'm letting it eat. It feels good again. Like, what was the first day that felt like that? Which I'm pretty sure probably the next day you probably felt like trash again.
Definitely,
But what was the first day that felt like that, if you remember around what time that was?
We were throwing, I was throwing a bullpen, and I think it was actually at the SC tourney, and I was just blowing cheese. Like my arm felt great, and I was like, yeah, like this is like getting close. I'm getting back. So that was kind of a turning point. That SEC tourney last year.
Nice. How when you're rehabbing, right? So a lot of guys, and you were young when you did it, right? So like you didn't have a whole ton of experience at LSU to try to figure out what do I need to tweak. But I'll play with a lot of guys that had TJ or had an injury that set them out for a full year. Yeah. And in their rehab and in their recovery, they were learning how to do something that they've always wanted to try to, tweak or get better. Like whether it's, hey, I'm going to throw a cutter, or I want to like get my slider better and change my grip. And they took that opportunity as they're recovering to tweak that grip and use that as their recovery. Is there anything that you did like that in your rehab, or you just you did?
Yeah. Like one of the main goals was just like kind of become more polished over the rehab process, and just like kind of work on off speed. So that's something I was focusing on, and I think I did a good job of that. Just really honing in with Coach Yeski, and he was by my side the whole time. So yeah, we worked even though I wasn't playing in the games. He was still watching my bullpens, like going over stuff. So I think we used our time to our advantage.
Did you use obviously you play with Skeens. I'd imagine you kind of took some of the habits. I mean, y'all are both enormous human beings, and you both are extremely hard, right? So like being really tall, it's really hard to repeat your delivery. He has a very clean, repeatable delivery. Was that conversation that y'all had a lot of, like, hey, how do you go about these things? This is what I'm feeling. What do you feel? Did y'all have a lot of those types of conversations?
Sometimes I would say we mostly talked about mindset in a way. Yeah. Because we are similar. We're both big, but we're also like different pitchers in a way. Like we have different stuff. Yeah. So I would say like the things I took from him was what he did off the field, and kind of just picked his brain about his mindset.
Yeah. Were you able to? So obviously, like you had a couple series where you were able to play and start, and you get hurt, and then you're off for so long. Mm-hmm. But then you basically got to watch 2 years of SEC ball from up close in person. Yeah. What stuck out to you the most about it?
I would say from last year and the year before, just watching how people react and do things and, like, kind of just taking what I want and leaving what I don't want from other players, just, like, learning from their, I would say bad experiences and learning from their good experiences too. I would say Coach Yeski talks about it. They call it unexpensive experience. So, like, if they do something and kind of mess up, like, I know in my mind, like, don't do that. Or if they have a bad inning and react, like, a certain way and, like, our teammates don't like that, like, I know, like, even if I have a bad inning, like, just come in there, like, be the nice guy, like, give the high fives and stuff like that. So,
is there anywhere on the road that you get kind of marked on the calendar right now? Like, hey, I liked what I saw here, because you got to go. You got both, really. Yeah. Is there anywhere on the road you haven't been yet in the league?
Haven't been. I didn't go to Ole Miss. That's when I was getting my surgery.
That's when
y'all go to Ole Miss this year?
Ooh, I want to say we do. I'm not sure though.
But then you've been everywhere else. So is there anyone where you like?
I want to go to, or I'm excited to go to UT this year. That's kind of one I got circled on my calendar. Yeah. Okay.
Did they just redo it too?
They did.
Yeah, I'm excited.
We went there and they hadn't redid it since Augie Garrido, and it was kind of run down, but they get.
It was the same field from
the field was
2006.
The field was nice for when we went to Texas. The field was nice, but the facility was just like
it was just older.
It was older. Locker room like smelled like a 1980 locker room. It was just older, but dude, they got after it. Like Texas baseball fans are up there with LSU baseball fans.
Yeah, they're nuts.
They're
nuts.
They get after it.
I'd agree with that.
I've never been to A&M. No, Ole Miss is my favorite place to play. No, we got our ass kicked when we went there.
Really?
It was my favorite.
Ole Miss is awesome.
We got walked off basically 3 straight games, which sucks for us, but as far as atmosphere goes, was pretty wild.
Yeah.
Ole Miss is unreal.
So I don't know if y'all go this year, you'll enjoy it. Like, it's gonna be.
Looking forward to it.
Yeah. Do you like that? Like, do you like more of a hostile environment? You play better that way?
I like going on the road for sure. Like,
he likes to talk shit.
Yeah, I love that.
when I was in high school, like, I loved playing on the road because everybody was after me in a way, so they were always talking trash, and I feel like that just fueled me a little more.
You went to high school in Midland.
Yes,
right?
sir. I went to Midland League.
From Midland,
Don't call me
Yes,
sir.
sir.
That makes me feel.
You from Midland?
Oh, right. Can the MRI fix your knee?
Well, it is beautiful in Midland. Well, there is nothing going on in Midland.
Midland stuff.
All field. Service.
Did you was LSU always in the picture, or was LSU came in the picture late? Was it somewhere that, being from Midland, I can't imagine you grow up and say, I want to go play baseball at LSU.
No, I didn't even know what LSU was until like probably 8 years ago maybe.
Yeah.
But yeah, I was actually committed to Oklahoma State as a sophomore in high school.
Wow.
Decommitted, opened it up my senior year, and Coach Johnson called. I just fell in love with LSU. So.
Did you were you always the big dude that threw hard, or did it kind of like you just kind of develop into that and it just kind of happened one year where, damn, I grew 7 inches and all of a sudden I'm throwing 100 miles an hour?
I was always pretty big, but like I had a really big growth spurt like coming into my freshman year of high school. And
boy's still waiting on this.
And
growth plate's still open.
And the more I shot up, like the skinnier I got, so I was really lanky, didn't really throw that hard. And then when COVID hit, like I started taking baseball a little more serious, started putting on weight, and that's when I saw like the velo.
Wait, did you hit as a youngster?
Yeah. I hit up until my senior my senior year. Yeah.
Richie Sexton, dude. That's
strike zone.
Y'all are too young for Richie Sexton. You not maybe. He was like 6'7".
Yeah.
Played for the Brewers. Just hit some bombs.
I miss hitting so much.
Short swing.
Yeah.
Did you play in other sports?
Yeah, I played football and basketball growing up too. I quit those sports going into my sophomore year of high school, I think. So I played football my freshman year of high school.
Yeah, I'd imagine your basketball coach probably wasn't happy that you played.
No, sir.
Yeah,
I
bet.
Nah, he
I bet not.
Serves you again?
I know. Don't serve me up. How old you do that?
Old as shit.
Know who Richie Sexton is.
He just literally
played right into it. Yeah.
Well, Richie Sexton was way older than me. So I mean,
of course he wasn't your age.
I grew up watching Richie Sexton play. He wasn't even born. I know I'm older than him, but like doesn't mean I'm a sir. You know what I mean? Doesn't mean I'm a sir.
I'll cut that out.
I appreciate that.
How do you feel about the squad this year, dude? Like, where are y'all right now? I know there's a lot of new faces in there, but there's a ton of talent there.
Definitely.
How do you feel about where y'all are right now and where you plan to be as you go along?
I kind of like how it's a bunch of new faces. That's all you.
That worked.
It's a bunch of new faces, so like we're all kind of in the same position, honestly. Like we're all trying to get to know each other and stuff. And I think like the first few weeks in the fall, we did a really good job of like getting the guys together, going to the house, like just hanging out in general off the field. So
Which house? The house like at home or
the house at home, the house at home.
The house, man. They
The
don't
house.
do that. They don't go to bars anymore.
Clay tried to drag me to the actual house.
They don't go to the house anymore.
I'm just asking.
No,
I don't
they
know.
go to
I don't know. I
house,
see
man.
it.
They
It's still
do-
standing.
That's a
I
trick
don't know.
House
It's still
go by
standing.
house.
I don't know.
That's
I don't
probably
know.
safer,
It's
honestly.
way better.
There you go.
Well,
They have houses.
That's way better. It's different. That's loose.
Way
change.
They don't
safer.
make money now.
Way safer.
So they have houses. We have houses.
I had a house.
Oh.
We stayed with the Nolas. The Nolas had a house. It was
Your
great.
parents live there.
No, it was their grandparents' old house. And it
Okay.
was great. Now the whole street is owned by the Nolas. Aaron bought the whole
It's
street.
actually the street now.
Aaron bought the whole street.
Nola Street.
Built a house, doesn't even live at the house. He just travels in a van around the country. Also lives in North Dakota. Nobody wants to live here. It's unbelievable. I don't understand the situation. What's going on here?
Except for
I miss my
George
friends.
and Tommy White.
Yeah, they all want to stay here. How has okay? So you're from Midland, right? How has your experience been in Baton Rouge? Right,
It's been great so far, honestly. Like the culture is really good. It's not that different from Texas in a way. A lot more trees, a lot more green, a lot more water as
No
well.
dust storms.
Yeah, no dust storm.
A lot of water.
Yeah, there's tons of water here. Yeah, it's been great so far. I love Baton Rouge. Yeah, it's
Nice.
kind of like my second home.
I
in a
like
way.
hearing that.
Me
A lot
too.
of out of state guys, they come here, play, then they're trying to get the hell
But
out.
it's usually the ones that are from like the Northeast or like
West
the
Coast.
North, yeah, the West Coast. Usually from like
Y'all
Texas
have
or
some guys-
There's so many West Coast guys on the team.
Yeah, y'all have a bunch of guys that are from 09 that are still here.
yeah.
And after that.
We do. I mean, we had a bunch of guys from South Florida, guys from New Jersey. I mean, Ronaldo's from New Jersey. He still
Where's
lives here.
Gosman from?
Gosman's from Colorado.
Colorado.
Yeah.
Skip me in line.
Micah.
Jeez.
Micah's from Florida.
Micah's from
No, he's from Texas.
Pflugerville, Texas.
Is he?
Yeah.
Yep.
Who's from Florida that I'm thinking of?
Ochinko's from Parkland.
Chinko's
Florida.
From, and then
He was
Nolan's-
teammates with Rizzo.
Nolan's from.
Nolan's from
Florida too.
like
yeah.
yeah,
Crestview.
Pensacola area. Right.
Yeah, Crestview-ish,
Yeah.
somewhere in there. Yeah.
Yeah, so we had a bunch of guys that came from. We had a bunch of Louisiana guys. What? Why are you looking over there? I thought you had something to say. Y'all got a new strength coach, right?
Yes, sir.
How's the?
It's habit. It's habit.
Very polite.
Dude, you're old, bro.
Very polite.
That's
I am.
And you dye your hair.
Okay.
Oh, that's wild. That's wild. Calling him out.
Look, he keeps saying I do that. I'm like, I've never dyed my hair in my life.
It's so black, dude.
I've never dyed my hair in my
That's the
life.
blackest hair I've ever seen.
Looks like Dracula.
I-
October's a long time ago, brother.
Dude, I had black hair and I got more gray hair than I know what to do with, and he's just black. Just,
Black hair?
just blacked out. I'm like
Never
trying to
dyed-
look for him.
Never dyed a strand of hair in my life. Not one time. People used to ask me, but never did it.
Sounds
Unbelievable.
like a lie.
Unbelievable. I swear.
Hilarious.
Why would I do that? I would never dye my hair. Ever.
You do look like a sir more than.
You got gray. You're salt and pepper. You need just for him to put in there. What are you talking about?
I know. I'm getting.
Yeah.
I know.
Yeah.
Oh.
Strength coach. Sir.
Yeah, Coach Martin, or we call him Chris. Chris
Yeah.
Martin. He's been great so far. He's super knowledgeable, and yeah, he's taught me
What's
a
the
lot.
difference between what he's doing and what the guy that just left? Is there a difference?
I mean, there's not much of a difference. Like, they're gonna do mostly the same stuff, but like just the way he goes about it's really good. And like he's a younger guy too, so like he gets it, like he fits in with us, and like we have a good like relationship and stuff.
He's like
Seems
27,
very
28, huh?
intentional.
He's
Like the
young.
workouts seem very intentional.
Definitely, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, he gets after it too.
Was there ever a conversation? You're a draft eligible sophomore.
No, sir.
You weren't a draft eligible sophomore.
sir.
Did it again? See,
You're certain.
I'm a sir. I'm a sir. I'm a
Yeah,
sir.
yeah,
It's fine.
like-
I'm a sir. It's
not-
cool.
yeah. I'll say that to anybody,
Tell
honestly.
No,
us,
he's
sir.
great.
Louisiana's rubbing off on
Yeah, look, very polite. I appreciate.
I'll say that to
I
anybody.
appreciate that.
Man, they say sir
I
in
don't know why I
Texas.
thought. I don't know why.
Yeah.
I guess I don't know why I thought you were a draft eligible sophomore, but you weren't. So there was that. My question was gonna be: was there any thought about leaving? But obviously,
No thought.
no thought. 'Cause you couldn't leave.
Can we talk about mindset again?
Yeah.
I think can they hear me?
Yes.
I think a big thing for you guys, like you take, a lot of guys now that are coming to college, they're very talented. With the portal and being able to get, you can go really grab some super, super talented guys. And I was at the house thinking, in baseball, everybody talks about like handling failure, right? Like, how do you handle failure? How do you handle failure? Handling success, too, from a mindset perspective of, I was kind of thinking about this the other day because me and you were talking about Paul's Rookie of the Year talk, you know, and
well,
like
his talk. This is cool.
Yeah, but the great players.
TV show got cut short.
No Nelson Mandela.
No, but the great players, right? I think they handled success better than they handled failure, right? And it was never about the next accolade or the next exposure they got or the next trophy. It was all about the process and focusing on, okay, yeah, I had something happen, but it's on the next thing.
Right.
I'm worried about something bigger than that. And it goes into an argument of talent versus just straight up goats, right? I mean, if talent,
if you have talent with the mindset, you're just a talented
player.
If you have talent with the mindset, you become one of the greatest.
Only reason why the Michael Jordan, LeBron James conversation is a thing, right? Freaking Michael Jordan won however many championships, right? Talent wise. You know, you could go hand in hand who was more talented, but work ethic, mindset, handling success. Tom Brady. I mean, Tom Brady, you can talk about talent-wise all day, but mindset. I mean, Lamar Jackson is, I think, 10 times more talented than Tom Brady.
Mindset can take you a lot further than just talent can alone.
But for this guy,
yeah,
I mean, talent. Fuck. I mean, remember you could create a player on fucking whatever. I mean, a pitcher, you create a pitcher.
7-footer throws 100.
7-footer throws 100. Mindset. Not saying I'm saying that is what's going to make talented guys be fucking good.
And it's something that, and we talk a lot about this, especially during baseball season, because yes, it's always baseball season. But we talk a lot about it because we've both been through college. We went through professional baseball. We've had ups and downs. We had a bunch of things that have happened that were like. We've seen guys with the right mindset, with the wrong mindset. I've had situations where I was a mental midget, and like I talked myself out of things or into different things. And baseball, and in particular, more than most sports, mindset can take you a long ways because it is so demoralizing of a sport sometimes if you let it be. Right, and it's something that you can gradually and continually learn and get better at and practice at. Is that something I know Jace talks a lot about on our show, is that he instills that a lot into his players, right? He has a mental skills coach, I think, and you'll have all these conversations. I think that's extremely important. Has that been something that's developed a lot more from freshman year until now?
Definitely, yeah. I think just going through like the Tommy John process too, helped me realize like what do I really want, and like that was hard too. Like I've lived a really good life. Like I never really went through anything that hard, so. Like just going through that, like put everything in kind of in a perspective for me. Like, what do I really want? I'm going to show up every day. I'm going to punch the clock. Just try to get the most I can.
It almost makes you develop that process, whether you like it or not.
Yeah.
Like from pre-throw to post-throw to just being able to process adversity, right? And then process the small victories you have through TJ. Getting your brace off, getting the cast off, getting the stitches out. It's like the little victories you get, it builds up.
For sure.
But it's the same. It's like when you get your first strikeout. Okay, then I get my first, 6 innings. Then I get my first,
CG.
Whatever. And you start getting it. Focusing on that process still, and not the next, the CG is what's going to make you, one of the best.
For sure.
It's not going to be your talent.
Hopefully go 1-1.
Well, I was talking to Jamie. They got freaking 14 guys that throw 95. Right, 14, 15 guys that throw 95 plus.
We got a bunch of dudes on the mound.
17 that throw 94 plus.
Yeah.
Well, the average fastball is 94 now.
Like that's crazy. The talent is just like what the heck? I don't know if it's just technology. What guys are learning how to throw harder.
That's
more,
it. It's all right? Like, I know you have a question, but it's you have. There's so much more information at your fingertips now when you're younger, growing up. Right, YouTube, all these different things you have. Hey, science is behind, heavy balls, or this is how you throw hard. You go to these pitching labs, all this kind of stuff. And so from a younger age, you're learning all of these things. And so of course, they're going to get, workouts are different, technology is different, more information. So it's just going to create higher velos.
And that's given to you. Like your coach is going to be, and feel like that. Hey, drop your arm a little bit, raise your arm a little bit. We're going to do this exercise. We're going to do this. That's given to you. You just go do that, right? Good athletes go do that. Talented guys go do that. Nobody can get in your head, you know, and create that dog mentality. Yeah. You know hey, I'm gonna wake up and it's time to go out there and beat everybody. Yeah. You know, that comes from right here and right here. And I feel like the guys that really separate themselves and talking about Paul, that's him. I mean, you never met more of a guy that's like, yeah, you know, the rookie of the year thing is more of a just a speed bump. Like, I gotta get over this little bump, and it's time to go to the next thing.
On TV today?
Yeah, like I'd rather focus on, you know, Pirates won 76 games last year.
76.
76 games.
They wish they won 76.
How many games they won?
Maybe they won, but
no,
they only play 80. They only play 162, so they were only 5 games under 500.
I think they won 76 games.
Fact check. Better than I thought they were.
Sounds about right.
You know, they won. Okay, so they won 76 games.
They won exactly 76 games.
Yeah. You know.
That's a crazy number to just pull out of nowhere.
Yeah, 76 games. Well, I think. Well,
who hosts the show? Baseball show.
Baseball show.
So 76 games last year. I'm worried. Like if I'm a guy on that team and I want to be one of the greatest of all time, I'm worried about winning 96 games next year.
Yeah.
And then winning 106 games. Yeah. And then winning. You know.
Problem is the ownership has to be that same way, and they're not. Anyway, that's a whole.
Well, that's a whole other topic. I'm just talking about the player. You know.
LSU has great ownership.
Yeah.
LSU's got that.
Yeah.
Pirates do not. Go ahead.
For you, nowadays, ball has changed a lot. A lot of guys are throwing hard. A lot of guys are doing a lot of stuff. There's so much information available for you guys. How do you sort through what you want, what works for you, and how do you choose what information to pay attention to and what to kind of put aside that works kind of for you?
I would say I'm still like not a finished product, like with my routine and everything. I'm still open to new things and yeah, like I'm still trying new stuff out, but like I would say I'm more of an old school pitcher. Like just I'm not much of a pitcher like to go throw plyos and stuff. I look at analytics a little bit, but I don't really understand it that much.
I'm glad you're saying this because I think there's a lot of people that think like because all this information is available, everybody's like a walking robot, and you
paralysis through analysis.
Yeah, I think a lot of people think that that's what it is, and there's not. Like there's some guys that's like, hey, look, you give me more of that, I'm gonna be like a midget. Like I'm not gonna do well at all. So like, it's cool to see some of this. Yeah.
Well, like Gosman doesn't even throw his splitter in practice.
Oh, he doesn't throw any bullpens because he doesn't want to blow his elbow out.
But
he only does it as the best pitch in baseball.
But he knows, like, I'm gonna grip it like this and throw it like this, and everybody's gonna miss. And everybody's gonna miss.
He developed that. He didn't always have that.
No,
he developed it.
No, he didn't have that. Like that wasn't a pitch when he first got in the Pro Bowl.
But to me, that's old school pitching.
Right.
Like I know this is gonna work, and no one's gonna hit it.
It's just kind of like seeing what the ball does. I mean, like Jamie Tucko, our analytics guy, like shout out him. He does a great job. He's good at explaining it, but like at the end of the day, like I want to see from my point of view, my eyes, what the ball's doing, like what I can work on, what I can do to extend the slider, you know, get the sinker low in the zone, stuff like that. Like I think just knowing like what I have to do on a day-to-day basis is kind of like most important to me. You know.
Well, you spoke about it earlier. You talked about how going through your rehab, you know, like you got to get over those tough days, those hump days, the ones where you felt like you were up here and now you're down here. Was there any of that stuff that you like had to tap into, maybe a new spot in your mind, or lean on someone who you maybe didn't have to lean on before, that you feel like, oh, this is what I'm going to use to kind of keep getting through these kind of tough spots as you go forward? Like it's something that you basically added to, I guess, your arsenal, if you will.
Yeah, like you're talking about like mindset.
Yeah.
Yeah, I would say like the thing I thought about is just kind of taking every day by day. I know it sounds cliche, but like when you're going through a long process like that, you got to take it day by day, or you can't look too far ahead because I mean it'll just eat at you. Like I'm gonna be out. That 23 year was wild to me, and then the whole 24 year, that was just crazy. So just taking it day by day like kind of helped me, you know, not go insane, honestly.
Yeah. What's the dynamic on the team now, right? Obviously, you saw it from a whole different perspective last year when you were kind of on the sidelines. Yeah. You're kind of going through your deal, trying to get back on the field. And so you kind of saw it from a different perspective, and now you're back on the field, whole new group of guys. A lot of guys transferred out, but the guys that you have back have a lot of experience, right? I don't know, it was 12 or 13 guys that were returning that didn't transfer or go in the draft. Had a lot of experience and have contributed over the last few years. What's the dynamic like now on the team this year compared to last year, if there's a difference?
I would say this year, like, I mean, it's still early, but like
Right.
from what I've seen, like we all have the same goal in mind, like a national championship. You know, that's the most important goal for us right now, and that's what we're working towards every day, honestly.
Is it, you know, y'all brought a lot of guys. It's sometimes it's kind of hard for these guys to come in there and adjust, right? Because they're coming in and they're the guy from where they came from, smaller school going to a bigger school. How have those guys come in here and adjusted to the culture of LSU and the culture that y'all have already created for the last couple of years?
I mean, I think Coach Johnson did a really good job of bringing the right guys in. So, like, that kind of takes care of itself. But, you know, every guy I've talked to, like, they don't care what their role is. Like, they came here to win a national championship, and they're going to do everything they can to, you know, help the team win. So,
Just go ahead.
I was about to say, has there been any, from 23 to 24, has there been any retooling, readjusting of how kind of things have got, you know, you win one year, the next year you don't get out of the regional, seeing what things kind of happen, and has there been any like retooling of kind of the things you guys do to kind of say, all right, well, this worked with this group, but maybe it didn't work with this group, but maybe there's a happy medium somewhere in there. Is there anything like that?
I can't think of anything specific, but like just for me, like I was a part of both of those teams. Like I saw how people went about their business that 23 years. So like I'm kind of just trying to go about my business in that fashion, and you know, like I kind of just want to be a leader.
Pass that shit down.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah.
Welcome, Lloyd, to the chat.
Well, you gotta talk loud because you have a mic right now. You have. I lost my train of thought. You screamed at me and you made me lose my train of thought.
Well, I'll say this: use your resources. Like you were talking about, like Jamie, right? Jamie is a stud.
Yeah, he's
like he knows his shit. Yeah. Utilize him to think about the analytics, think about the pitch design for you, and he just say, hey, maybe try this. To where you're not sitting there going over analytics, going over, you know, pitch, horizontal break, all that stuff. Let him worry about that. Utilize him. Definitely. You know, Michael Jordan, Tim Grover. Tim Grover was Michael Jordan's trainer. He wrote, you know, his book Relentless, great freaking book if you haven't read it. But like Michael Jordan didn't think about training. He just showed up and worked out. Tim Grover worried about training.
Make him better.
Yeah, it was good. He knew it was going to make him better. He trusted
whatever more RPMs. You know, that's not people who get caught up in that. They turn into robots and they don't really have that competitive nature because they don't think about anything other than that. Right? You know if you're going to throw it good.
Sure.
Right? It's like, hey, okay, let me do that. Okay, how do I do that every time? Right? And that's kind of where you lean on.
Yeah.
Jamie, hey, what happens when I don't do that? Right? Oh, well, you're kind of keeping it open or doing whatever else. You know, I think that's kind of where you use the analytics as opposed to guys, because I've seen guys get crippled by it.
Yeah.
Oh, I think you kind of use it. I think that stuff's supposed to be used for, like you say, like the practice days. Because at the end of the day, like when it's showtime and the lineup card is written and the umpires show up and there's people in the stands, there's a guy stepping in the box who's trying to hit some shit harder for you.
Right.
You don't give a damn how much it spins and how much it rises.
He's swinging.
You don't care about any of that shit. So like there is that sense of I need to do this stuff for like the muscle memory side of me to understand how I got it to do this. But when I show up and it's go time, man, it's me against you. And like the muscle memory has to show up at that point instead of me worrying about how to spin it or how to make it rise more. Like that has to be gone.
And then some days it's not there.
Some days you don't have it. Some days that guy's really good.
But
too,
that's where
so
you
like,
just
gotta
that
go
happens too.
compete.
And that's where the competitive nature comes in, right? You don't. I don't have my stuff, but I'm just gonna outwill you,
Right.
And that's just kind
And
of
grind.
Yeah.
And then, I mean, but no, y'all have so many resources at LSU now. I mean, like just the amount of coaches on the staff is crazy. And you being able to surround yourself with those resources, I mean.
Did you try to model your game after anybody? Like, you know, as you're growing up and pictures that you watched or that you
Richie Sexton.
Yeah. Yeah. That was the tallest hitter I could think of. I mean, I think that is the tallest hitter in the history of baseball. So, I mean, that was it.
I'm trying to think. I really don't think like I watched like Major League game.
No, he's too young.
I would say Garrett Cole is a pitcher I watched growing up, but like I really didn't try to model my game after anybody. I wouldn't say.
Were you a Rangers fan?
Not really.
No?
Like,
just baseball, like baseball in general.
Yeah,
or sports
I like
in
the
general?
Padres a little bit.
Who were guys that you watched and you're like, man, this guy's
To be, hey, just wait him out because he's got so many pitches. And so he's going to try to throw 7 pitches in every at-bat to everybody, and he's going to not get out of the 5th inning because he's going to have 110 pitches.
That's true.
But over the last 3 years, he's changed that, right? And he's kind of used his fastball more, and he has the pitches and he uses them when he needs to, but he's pitched deeper in the games. He's gotten better because of it.
Yeah.
He's nasty.
I'll regurgitate some of the best advice I got. And this is from my dad. Told me this. I asked him. I was like, who'd you try and model yourself after as a coach? Because he coached with some really good coaches. He goes, man, I didn't model myself after any coach. I took things I liked from each coach and I made my own.
That's true.
And that's why I'm different.
Yeah.
If you try and be somebody else, you're never going to be the best version of yourself.
Yeah, I agree.
You got to take a piece from Garrett Cole, a piece from Yu Darvish, a piece from Paul Skeens, a piece from all the best, DeGrom, whoever, and be Chase Shores.
Definitely, yeah.
You know, I like what he does right there, but I don't really like that. I think I'm better doing it this way.
Yeah.
And then you make your own, and you be.
I like
you be
that a
Chase
lot,
Shores.
actually, yeah.
He's one.
Tim Wakefield.
You're pulling out your Tony Robbins. You're motivating the shit out of me right now.
Well, it's true. I mean,
know.
it's
I'm
100% true. Like,
100%. I'm not making fun of you. I'm being.
but it's
honest.
relatable in everything else. Even whenever you get done with sports and you're living life, like I work with a bunch of guys who've been in business for a long time.
If someone's been successful, you want to take some of the best things they have and incorporate them into what you do and your personality.
But you're never going to be them.
Never.
Don't even try and be them.
No, you
because that's
can't.
not you. Go be yourself. Go be the best version of yourself and take positive things from each person that you learn along the way. Yeah. It's just going to make you better.
Definitely.
But be yourself. Be Chase Shores. Because nobody's better than Chase Shores as himself.
What does Chase Shores like to do outside of baseball?
Ooh, I mean, touching on the competitor side of things, I like to compete. Me and my roommates, we got a ping pong table.
Love that.
Yeah,
Like in the house?
It's in the kitchen. Yeah,
Like at the house or at the house?
At the house.
At the
Yeah,
house.
What's the ping pong table used for?
Ping pong.
Do you have
That's
still have
college
the
life right there. Ping pong tables in
do
the
they have the
kitchen.
ping pong table in the players' lounge? Still?
They do, yeah.
Do y'all use that?
We do, but like when we're at the house, we like to get after.
A little more competitive?
We got a little whiteboard. We tally all the
Who's
wins
winning?
and stuff. I'm winning so far.
What's the score?
Who
are your roommates, first of all?
Mick Paul, outfielder,
Okay.
and then Jacob Myers,
Okay.
transfer pitcher.
Yep.
I think me and Mick it's probably like 15-4, and then me.
Oh wow! So he's
Oh,
not.
so it's
he has a
domination.
chance.
And then me and Jacob, it's probably close to the same, 15-5.
Damn, so
something like
you're
Can
head
we gotta sub somebody else in.
Get
We
some
gotta get somebody else in
competition.
here. Yeah,
What
what's
are you?
going
Are you a
on?
forehand power guy? You're the backhand guy? Or are you the hey? I'm gonna make you make
Forehand
mistake
power guy.
You're a forehand guy.
Forehand power guy. Yeah.
I'm surprised he's not like I'm gonna make you play into mistakes because I could literally cover this entire thing by not moving. So I'm just going.
That's what Austin knows. He would just sit here and just boom. Defense. It didn't matter how hard
Straight
you
defense.
with this freaking soft hands, just give it, and then you just hit into the net, and you get so frustrated.
Yeah.
You go for 15 minutes, and you wouldn't miss.
Hey, some of my best memories are dudes literally going at each other's throat about to throw hands in the locker room over ping pong.
Yeah.
Oh, dude,
it gets competitive.
We got banned from our ping pong table when we were here because we would put tournaments. If it was a rain delay, we would have ping pong tournaments in the room, and we were all in there until
you're not supposed to.
Until we're not supposed to be in there, and then we would get no, ping pong, you're done. You've then we'd go out and win, and then it would get lifted.
Guys
Yeah,
are about
exactly.
to literally fight.
Or pitchers are about to tear their UCL because they're trying to swing so
You should
hard.
definitely play left-handed.
Yeah.
Maybe I'll switch. Maybe I'll switch.
That was
Do you
free.
see that? You see the score? He's not switching. He's not switching.
Who's on the team though? You have anyone better than you?
Oh, that's a good one.
Yeah, when you leave the house and you play at the ping pong, you don't have home field advantage
Let me
anymore.
think.
How's that one going?
Connor Binge, transfer pitcher. He's
Yeah.
pretty good.
Do you have a special paddle? You have the sand paddle.
Generic.
You like the
I like the softer one, not
Yeah,
the
'cause
not
you
the
can
more
spin it
hard-
better.
Exactly. Yeah.
So you're a pick up any paddle guy too. Like
Yeah,
you know?
it don't
He's
matter.
old school, man. He's just a grinder.
Yeah,
You
man.
know?
Oh, I like it.
Start playing with your cell phone.
You ever seen?
You can
you
play through the
I
elements.
have
It
done
doesn't
that
matter.
before,
I like
actually.
it.
Yeah, I've done
you
that.
ever seen the Conor McGregor with the fancy pants?
No.
I don't need. Oh my god.
I haven't. No.
You've never seen that?
With the video his neighbors leaked it to?
No, he's
You
interviewing.
see
and-
Mike Tyson and his chaps at the weigh-in or the. Whatever,
Yep.
That was great.
That's
No,
what it
they're
is.
they're interviewing McGregor. It was on. Did y'all see the
Fancy
McGregor
pants.
documentary?
No, I didn't.
And they asked him if he had any special rituals before any fights.
Cocaine.
No, and they're like, do you have any like special you eat anything like a special meal or you wear anything special for your fights? He goes, I don't need fancy pants. I'm gonna show. He goes, I'll fight you in this chair. I'll fight you in my house. I'll fight you anywhere. I don't have any rituals.
Fancy pants.
It's the funniest thing you gotta.
So
watch
you don't
it.
have any fancy pants either. You
Definitely
He
not.
just shows up, fights you in, play you anywhere.
Let me-
You need a fancy paddle.
need that.
Let's get back to the team for just a minute, right? So you went through a whole fall. A lot of new faces. guys that impressed you, that that were either here that have kind of taken that next step, or came in that you just wanted to see how they were going to perform, and came out and just kind of balled out this fall.
I mean, we have such a good staff, so it's hard to pick and choose. Like,
look at you.
It could be staff.
How's Schmidt doing? How's
Schmidt? He's the man. Like, he's so good. He's so cool off the field too. Yeah, he's really good. Just a lot of raw talent too. So I'm excited to see how good he's gonna progress too. Hitting wise, I can say a hitter. I'll say Derek Curiel, the freshman.
Oh wow, I've heard
good.
a lot of good things.
Yeah,
about
really
him.
good.
Tough
so
AB
deep
this year again.
I know.
That's crazy.
I've got 7 million outfielders. I got 15 guys who can play shortstop.
Right. Yeah.
Who is the infield?
Oh, okay.
Good luck. They got like 10 of them.
I mean, who? Like, what?
They got like 10 of them. Like,
Yeah,
you
there's-
got.
I mean,
we have
if
a
you
lot
were
of
to play
talent.
tomorrow,
I would say the guaranteed 2 guys for sure are going to be Milam and Jared from the right side of the infield. Right, those 2 probably are going to be there, and then you have Dickinson just came in here who's going to play somewhere, and you got Brazel who's coming back, but then you got that the freshman shortstop from
Mikey
Texas.
Ryan?
What's his name?
I'm thinking Kason Evans maybe.
No.
Mikey Ryan.
Well, Kason Evans been doing really well.
He's been pitching good.
Yeah.
I think they're gonna take the bat away from him.
Yeah,
now,
be a
so,
pitcher.
Yeah.
I heard he can.
Oh
he
yeah,
can
he
throw.
hit 99 like 3 times on Sunday. Yeah.
That's crazy.
We could
Didn't
use that.
Pearson go back to?
Oh,
infield, though?
Hogg.
Oh, David Hogg, yeah.
Hogg.
He's a baller. Yeah, he's good.
Yeah.
Didn't they move Pearson back to infield?
Pearson, he'll play
The
anywhere.
other Pearson, the younger Pearson.
Oh, John. Yeah.
Yeah.
He's
Did he
been
play
at third. He's been at third.
Oh,
working.
yeah, we got another one.
And they've been playing Jared Jones a little bit at
So
third
much
They got
base.
some dudes, man.
They've been
Jared
sneaking
Jones.
Jared Jones
So
at
much
third
talent.
base.
Yeah,
a
you
little
saw
bit.
that? Yeah.
They
Some
got
big
some
third base.
Hey,
Oh,
they
yeah.
got some dudes on the squad
Yeah.
this year, man. They got,
So-
they
But then
Yeah,
you
some
got
talent.
then you got Brown,
Yeah.
right? Then you
Mhm.
got Curiel. You have Pearson,
Yeah.
the older, Josh
Right,
Pearson.
right.
You have Larson's back.
Yep.
You bring the kid in from Auburn, is it
Stanfield. Yeah.
Stanfield. So like
Loaded.
loaded.
Yeah.
And 15 guys.
Like Stanfield's
95.
projected. If he swings it at all this year, he's projected top 3 rounds.
Definitely. Yeah.
Yeah,
He's
Jake
really
can put
good.
together-
Apparently, he gets it in center field.
Oh yeah. Yeah. I trust him with my life out there.
They say he
Yeah.
goes. They said he made a play the other day. It was one of the most outrageous.
He
things.
can roll too.
Yeah, he's so fast.
Are y'all going to run more this year?
I mean, I don't really ask Coach Johnson about that. Oh, we do have a lot of fast
Have
players.
have they tested y'all on the mound trying to do that? In the
Yeah,
fall?
definitely. Yeah, I've seen more stolen bases this year than any fall. So
You been working on a
That's it.
pickoff move or what? I'm just kidding, dude.
I'll work at it.
What's your to plate time? 1, 2, 1, 1.
I can't even tell you. I can.
What
tell
about I guess the other question mark on the team is the catching position, right? So like you lose Milazzo, who Milazzo is the captain and he's the guy. He's going to kind of keep everything in line.
Yeah.
You lose Travinsky. He's kind of the second in line behind Milazzo in that sense. And then you're bringing in guys that really haven't had any time here, right? You bring in Priester, who's a transfer who's been swinging it pretty well.
Definitely.
I think he started here, transferred, and
Yeah, he
came
did
back,
start,
right?
yeah.
And then
It's a cool
you bring
story.
in Aaron Beatty, who's a true freshman, but apparently a stud.
Yeah.
And then you bring in was it Luis Hernandez?
Yep.
He's been catching. How have those 3 guys looked behind the plate, and how confident or how comfortable have you been throwing to those guys?
Yeah, I've been working with all of them. Comfortable with all of them. Just like y'all said, with the infielders and outfielders, like we're deep with the catching position too. Like Coach Johnson has a lot of good but hard decisions to make, so it'll be fun to see.
I love that.
Who are some of obviously you're going to be one of the older guys, leaders. Who are some of the leaders this year?
I would say Bear, Jared Jones.
Yeah,
He's done a good job. More on the vocal side of things. Like he's not scared to get up in front of the locker room and speak. So.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure when he opens his mouth, people are like, okay, I shouldn't say anything to him.
Right.
He'll probably smash me.
Yeah, he'll eat me.
That's Kentucky.
Yeah, I remember that. Yeah, we have a bunch of leaders though. Cade Anderson, he's been doing a good job being a leader.
How has he
He's been
progressed?
doing real good.
Jay
Yeah,
said he's kind of controls his breaking ball a lot more.
Definitely, yeah.
And he's kind of becoming a lot more polished. Which
Polished,
you would
yeah.
imagine.
I was gonna say that he's like from last year to this year, just way more polished. Sliders gotten harder and sharper.
So now he's got 3 pitches.
Definitely, yeah. He's really good. He's going to be a big part of this year, I think.
How's Newt doing? I know he was a TJ guy with you, huh?
Mhm.
Y'all are kind of rehabbing together.
Yeah. He's been doing good. Yeah. Newt, he's one of my best friends too. We went through the rehab process together, so I saw him in there every day grinding, just like I was. So yeah, it's really good to see him back out there too.
Yeah, I know he was like one of the guys coming in. Like when he first got here, he was like, I mean, he could fill it.
Oh yeah. Just raw arm talent.
So what you tell me is y'all gonna be like really good.
Really good.
That's what you. Tell me.
I think so.
I hope
Yes,
so.
sir.
It's better for us because we enjoy watching it because we want y'all to be really good, and
Yes,
it's
sir.
better for the show because it's a lot easier to talk about it when y'all are really
sure.
good.
Yeah.
People tune in.
Mikey told me he's gonna
go.
roast your ass if you're not good.
Yeah.
That's what he
Way
told me.
easier.
I deserve it. I deserve it.
I don't know.
For calling me sir and shit.
It's way easier to be on the offense than the defense, especially when you're a former player. Like guys are great, man. But people are like, man, what's up with LSU? And you're struggling. I'm like, well, I'm not. You
Well, the
can't
problem-
make me say bad stuff.
the
Like,
problem
I'm gonna
with
find
baseball-
a positive.
Yeah.
Problem with baseball, you've never seen anybody go 56-0, and so. But if you lose a midweek game or you lose to a team on Sunday that you may not shouldn't have lost to, it's like, well, the world's falling down, right? It's
It was 2 years ago. It was literally like the noise was, why can't they sweep a weekend? I'm like, bro, wait, how crazy?
Quick question. You weren't here when we were talking about it, but we were talking about the SEC and how the competition is like becoming a lot more level, right? And you got teams like Vanderbilt.
Yeah.
You got teams
In
like
football.
South Carolina in football.
Oh, you're talking
right.
about football? Okay.
We were talking about football, just how like going undefeated in the SEC going forward in football is basically going to virtually be unheard of.
Yeah.
Well, baseball, NIL, transfer portal, that's all. I mean, it's the same. They're going through the same thing. And this is kind of for everybody. Do you think that baseball is also going to be more of an even playing field going forward? Like you had your blue bloods of the SEC that were always good, but are those smaller SEC schools that haven't always been as dominant, or even other conferences that haven't always, like, oh, we're playing, whoever this weekend, we should do fine. Does it also kind of start
He
becoming
said
more
basically
level?
like for forever, the 20-win mark in SEC play has always been like a. You're probably
potentially
1-2
yeah.
on an outlier
Yeah,
year. You're
does
the
that
three.
change?
You're the three. Like, is it now closer to like 15 is a really good year, or is it? Do you see it more?
I think
of the
you
same?
kind of saw it outside. Well, I guess Tennessee. I think you kind of saw it last year, right? Like,
Well, that's what I said because they had an
Yeah.
outlier year, but like I'm saying, like
yeah.
it was always 20. If you were the
Right,
team
right.
that had 24, it was you probably won it by 2 or 3 games.
Yeah,
Like,
but you're talking about who's your 20-win teams, right? Arkansas,
right,
Florida,
right,
LSU.
yeah.
That's
And then
that's.
year in and year out. Like that's what I'm saying. So like now is
But
it
Kentucky?
right?
Is it
So are you looking at more of a man? If it's 17, 18, 19, like is that like the number
Yeah.
that you think it'll probably be, or like do you see that?
I would say it's going to open up more opportunities, but I think the powerhouses are going to stay the powerhouses.
I agree.
I think, LSU is a great place to play, and I think people are going to keep coming to LSU.
I agree with you too because I do think I do think when seasons start too, like teams start to get on a run, and you also have a lot of people. You have that 20-win.
You
mark.
talk about
you start
mindset?
getting on a run, like
But you don't think that baseball can levelize more? Like
No, I
football
think
is?
it can, but I think with baseball it's a little different because like you're gonna have the guys like from Wofford and those schools and Campbell that they go there and they play. Maybe they weren't quite good enough to go to a big school, but they're a good ball player. Maybe they got overlooked. And they play for a year and they play for 2 years and they ball out and then they say, okay, well, I'm too good for this division. I'm gonna go transfer. All those guys transfer out, so they may be good for a year or two, but then they leave. And those schools historically have been really good, and some of those small schools in the past made their runs because they would keep guys there for 4 years. So there was you would play, but you would play these smaller teams. They have seniors. It'd be a big senior team, and then they'd be really good because they're experienced. They have 4 years of games under their belt in college, and that's why they compete. Those teams now, those guys get lost. They come to LSU or wherever else. So I think you're going to see it for a little bit, but I do think that the big powerhouse schools, I think what it does is it creates the level of competition in the SEC is going to be, so like when we were playing, I would always compare the SEC to like high A baseball, right? You had 2 really good starters, a third starter who was pretty solid, and 1 or 2 really good guys out the pen. Lineups are pretty solid, right? Similar to high A, and then you go to double A and you got talent, and lineups can hit, anybody in the lineup can hit a homer, and you got guys come out the bullpen throwing 95 to 97 regularly. You have that in the SEC now, right? Everybody on the, like, Arkansas's got 4 guys that throw 100. Y'all have, 10 guys that throw over 95 miles an hour. Like, you have that. So I think that NIL and draft and all that stuff has created a higher level of competition, which is even more reason why you come to school. Because if you go and perform in that, you're going to be in the big leagues in like 2 years.
For sure,
right?
yeah.
So that's kind of my opinion to your question.
Guys are staying too.
Right.
Guys are staying or going to school. I mean, like Schmidt.
Well, it makes a lot more sense these days to go to school.
Right.
The fast track and how they move players in professional baseball is faster than it's ever been. So it does make a whole lot of sense to come here, refine yourself here before spending so much more time in pro ball and having to go through the amount of time at the different levels that you would have to compare to getting your stuff done here, doing it right, and then continuing to grow from here. I mean, let's be honest. I think a lot of people would rather play in front of 12,000, 13,000 in Alex Box than be in Wichita, Kansas, or something. Yeah, or Midland, Texas.
Yeah, that's.
You go to any of those games growing up, by the way?
Oh yeah, the Rockhounds games. Yeah, those are super fun actually. Yeah, we have a nice AA stadium.
Played in it.
They had a basketball court in right field. I would go there when I was like 10 years old and just
used to hoop down there, or what?
Used to, yeah. That was fun.
Did you play summer ball?
When? Like growing up?
No, so like at LSU, did you go and play like in the Cape or anything?
We couldn't, TJ.
No. So you had TJ as a freshman, didn't get to go, so you haven't been.
Yeah, and then this past summer I just stayed in Baton Rouge and trained the whole summer.
Yeah.
A little bit of ping pong here and there. Yeah.
A little bit of ping pong.
And then so you're draft eligible this year, though.
Yes, sir.
Yep.
My bad. I hit you with this one.
Wow.
I got gray hair. You can serve me, I guess. I don't know.
Dude, I mean, like, I'm not gonna keep you on. I appreciate you coming on the show. Before I let you leave, though, what's your favorite spot? This is not. It has nothing to do with baseball. Just curious to see kind of like what y'all are doing now.
The house.
Favorite? No, not go out and drink.
He told you.
Where's your favorite? Like, if you had to go and say, hey, we're going to eat, right? Where's y'all's favorite place to go eat in Baton Rouge?
Joe's Eat Place.
Think about this one. I would say Empire Wings is pretty good. Yeah. I'm a big Empire Wings guy.
Love Empire Wings.
Yeah, and they hooked it up for a while too. Like if we posted on our story, they would.
They got a new location, didn't they?
Yeah, there's one by LSU, so that's the only one I go to. Yeah, it's nice. Great wings, great service. Yeah.
Great service, great food.
Shout out
Empire Wings.
Let's go.
No free ads, baby. That's it. He's hungry. Give him some food. He's picking it up in about 15 minutes.
Yep.
Have it ready. They don't drop it to you. They don't drop it to you.
Guy, Asian Zing guy.
Oh, I'm a
lemon pepper guy.
Spicy lemon pepper.
Spicy lemon pepper. Okay.
Yeah,
they
don't drop it until you get there. Really? They don't.
So it's fresh.
So it's fresh.
Yeah, I like that.
Yeah, they don't drop it until you get
That's
there.
like my guilty pleasure.
I love.
That sounds really good, right?
No doubt. Well, dude, I appreciate you. Yeah. We have you on again at some point, hopefully during the season.
In the dugout.
Yeah. We'll come hang out in the dugout. We'll be around the games. We're pumped for the season, man. Good luck this year. And open invitation anytime you want to come here and just talk shop. Okay. You can bring your bodyguard with you anytime you want.
I got you.
I don't even be
I appreciate
a bodyguard.
Huh?
He's got like a 7'2" reach.
But yeah, man, we appreciate you.
Yes,
you can hang out with us until we end the show. You can leave whenever y'all want to do it. Like you said, easy.
All right, then. I appreciate it.
Yeah, appreciate it, dog. Yep.
Hey,
I'll see you.
always.
Later.
See you, man. Yeah, of course.
Good to see you, brother.
Yep. Absolutely, man. Good luck.
Watch your head. Appreciate it.
On the ceiling.
You can get in his chair now, so you can have
my
the mic. Yeah. All right. Give me the. We have any questions?
Oh yeah, hold on.
Ask Mikey, Mitch, and Moffitt.
I can't talk.
Oh yeah.
I mean, there's nothing I can do.
Loud.
I can do. You go to be loud.
Yeah, just be loud.
Okay.
You couldn't find another wire, huh? You couldn't even get to the chest.
Did you hear what was going on?
Yeah, I know. So you couldn't get to the chest.
It's great though. It's fun. Good adventure.
Yeah.
The Fonz! Ask him an M. Honest question. How do y'all deal with your favorite team losing? Or y'all being prior players in college and pros help you deal with it?
Can you hear yourself? Can you hear yourself?
Not really.
Okay, well then.
That means you're not loud enough.
Can you spin that over to him?
It should work.
It looks great.
Yeah,
this is great. This works. The Fonz! Oh, hey, girl.
Siri's here.
Ask him and him. How do y'all deal with your favorite team losing, or y'all being prior players in college and pros help you deal with it? I'd imagine it's an LSU football question.
It's not great, but you obviously get through it. When I was younger, it'd be, I would be like, damn, we lost. It would kind of like hit me a little harder. Obviously, you've been through it. You've been through losses. It sucks. Not fun because you have to hear about everything else happens. It's a lot more fun around Baton Rouge when they win, but you get over it.
I love competition, man. So, you know, you still get competition, still comes on, still get to watch it. It's cool.
Hey, the sun comes up, man.
Yeah.
The sun's gonna come up.
My world's not gonna stop right now. Like
sun's gonna come up, and it's I grew up an LSU fan my whole life, right? And it's like, it sucks when LSU loses, more from a Baton Rouge perspective. For whatever reason, I feel like
an Aggie now, so it doesn't.
No, that's not true. That's not true. I support. No, I'm talking about just for the
I'm joking.
LSU gets a lot of hate, man. Like, everybody kind of like dogs on LSU because everybody loves LSU.
Yeah.
Right. I mean, we have the most social media hits or following, and we got some of the best NIL. You got freaking Livy Dunn, Angel Reese, Alex Bregman. You got some absolute, very well-known LSU blood all over the country. Yeah. And it ticks some people off.
Bregman's, did you see what Boris came out and said?
Like $304 million?
$345 million, like along the same lines that Machado got.
Yeah, like that, and that upsets people that he's an LSU guy. People hate on LSU, so when they lose, it kind of just pisses me off that people get satisfaction out of that.
That's how I feel.
They're happy that LSU lost. Whenever Alabama loses, I really don't care. I don't care that they lost to Georgia or I don't care, Tennessee, whatever, Vanderbilt. Great, good for you. But people really care when LSU loses, and that kind of irks me.
Yeah, I love it. Spin it. Spin it. Hold on. Spin it.
Spin the wheel. Spin the wheel. Ask him and him. What coach from your playing days, college or pro, would you have loved to play for that you didn't already? What coach would you have liked to play for that you didn't, college or pro?
I thought they asked for a former coach.
That I would like to play for that I didn't play for.
Nick Saban.
Yeah, I could go with Nick, but I'll be honest with you. I got 1 year with him, and I was so new to the position, I felt like it wasn't a thing. I would have loved to have played 2 more years under Todd Monken being a receivers coach when I was here.
I bet.
Yeah.
I loved AD. I loved AD. He was great. I would have loved to had Wes Johnson as my pitching coach. I've heard nothing but great things about Wes.
Oh, they would have fired him too.
What?
No, the fan base, not smart people.
I would have loved to pray for to pray.
You can.
I would have loved
for him right now
to play for Terry Francona.
Me too.
He just and honestly, one of his really good friends was my manager in Tampa, and they were extremely tight. Every time we would go to Cleveland, they would put all of Kevin Cash's stats on the scoreboard, and he hit 125 in his career.
That's 100% Terry.
And then every time Terry would come to Tampa, we would do something. So they had a good relationship, and there's a reason why Cash is still there in Tampa and winning and doing different things.
How do you think playing for Tony Vitello is?
I've heard people love it.
I'm about to say, I would imagine it's probably.
Hey.
He goes to bat so hard for his guys. I can't imagine it's not that
I
good.
bet he would be awesome to play for.
Yeah, I heard people love it.
I wouldn't be surprised.
I've heard nothing but good things about players that have played for Tony. I know, and look, you talk about love to hate. People love to hate.
Not just that too. He's a younger, relatable dude. He goes to bat so hard.
He
for
wants
his
to
guys.
fight. He wants to fight for his guys.
I can't imagine it wouldn't be. And honestly, he's grown too.
Yeah, no doubt.
He's grown from assistant coach Tony to head coach Tony.
Yeah.
To where he's it's a different guy too. So I have to imagine it's probably really good.
Yeah.
Jay Johnson. Are you good answer?
That's kind of.
I like to play for Jay, but that's kind
that's
of
a given. I would love to play for Jay. I'm just.
Yeah. All right, flip it back.
We're trying to not be on the. We're trying to get off the beaten path just a little bit.
Did that upset you?
Yeah, Lloyd
Tony?
doesn't
Did
like
Tony
that.
upset you?
Lloyd doesn't like Tony.
Glaze fest over here.
No, I'm just saying, like,
Country right next to you, and you're like, oh, maybe Tony Vitello.
He doesn't like Tony Vitello.
Jay's a given. Obviously, we'd all love to play for Jay. Won a national championship. I mean, we know him. What?
I'd love to play for Tommy Moffitt.
I bet he would have loved to coach you too.
Ooh,
Tommy would
no. He would have loved to coach you.
Oh, you love jail.
Oh, he would have loved to coach you. Oh
would
my
have been
God,
buried,
dude! Y'all would have had a good after practice relationship.
He called me a grinder when I threw up on the show, and he came back. He was like,
Oh.
I got a little medal to you.
Yeah,
I forgot
Clay
he did
knows.
throw up.
Clay knows he would have
man.
loved you.
Oh yeah, it would be great.
Good example.
All right, next one.
Ask Eminem. Was there anyone from your college playing days on an opposing team that you just hated and wanted to put hands on at any time you saw them?
There was. Oh, yes. Actually. You know exactly who I'm going to say, too.
Who?
Center fielder from Georgia.
Oh, Cerrone.
Cerrone. This guy, dude.
My Cerrone.
This motherfucker, and he may be the nicest guy in the world. Maybe. I don't know him personally. But this motherfucker
But personally, hate him.
was a small dude, and he took so much advantage of these juice bats. He hit almost 20 homers, and he hit an opposite field home run against us at Georgia, right? He's a center fielder for Georgia. This is when Georgia was ranked like 1 in the country. This is the year after they lost to Fresno State. This is 2009. And he rounds the bases. It was the fifth inning, bottom of the fifth inning. He rounds the bases. He goes ahead by two runs. He gets to third base, takes his helmet off, runs down the third base line, jump stops at home plate, and shoots it. This is before
But
any of
today
was,
that
like,
would be pretty normal.
yeah,
Right.
But back
Everybody
then, it
does
was
that.
like, damn. Like, you're gonna do that of all these other people who are gonna get drafted, and you're gonna do that. That was like stuck in my head.
Who's the guy from the Mets that's making a show that broke his helmet?
Oh. You're talking about, Jesse Winker.
Winker, that guy stinks. Yeah, I don't like that guy either. He's
He's
talking about college, right?
Yeah. I'm saying it feels like the same energy.
In college,
Yeah.
I would go with, and we actually got the chance to do it. And this was kind of like before all of the transfer stuff, so we kind of got a feel for it. But TJ Forrest,
Oh yeah, that's a good one.
righty that came to LSU from North Louisiana.
LSU tattoo on his back.
LSU tattoo on his back didn't really work for him. Goes to Arkansas, and we got to see him a couple times.
Transfers
and we-
because he wants to go get drafted.
yeah, he wants to pitch more, wants to get drafted, goes there and faced us. I want to say twice.
And then Omaha
Boy, it didn't go good for him.
did not go good.
Ooh, it didn't go good for him.
He was tipping his pitches, and we knew
Oh,
it.
we beat the shit out
And
of him.
we beat him like 16-4. It was not even close.
Yeah. So we kind of got a chance, and that was fun. I
about you?
enjoyed that.
Oh man, I can't ask.
Man, I didn't really pay attention to guys we played against. Like, they had assholes and douchebags, but like I didn't care. Like, I wasn't the guy that knew like everybody on the roster of an opposing team. I was just like, I didn't like.
I didn't
any
know
of them.
everybody. Yeah, I mean,
I
but
didn't like any of them. Like,
there was a-
and the guys that I can remember guys doing stuff like Arkansas had some dudes that were just I couldn't stand them. You know, Florida had guys I couldn't stand, but like I didn't really know their names. Like I
Yeah.
was like, oh, that dude's a douche. But I just I didn't.
Florida
like,
had some guys.
really, I didn't like anybody.
Florida always has some guys.
I didn't like
If
anybody.
you didn't wear purple and gold, Clay was like,
Like,
I don't-
if you
I'm
ain't got
out.
my jersey on, fuck you.
I don't care.
I'm out on you.
I'm out.
I love that.
Like, I mean, I hated shaking hands after the game. I still don't like. Whenever guys do the jersey swaps like in the NFL that are former teammates, that are their former teammates, yeah, that's pretty cool. But when I see guys like BS after the game, I'm like, I would never do that. I would literally shake hands, go straight to the locker room, and MF every dude on the field. Like, I hated him. I didn't care who it was. You know, like I had buddies on other teams that I play with. Didn't even want to talk to them. Like,
Don't see me. I don't care.
Yeah, like I don't care. Especially like after a loss, I didn't even want to go say it to my mom. Like,
I'll see you tomorrow.
God, I was so pissed. Friggin' Brooks texted me like, "Hey, you want an icy? No, throw the icy away. I want anything.
I don't deserve it.
Yeah, put whiskey in it.
Lights out at 10.
Like, I'm pissed. I literally put a dip in straight to the bus. Wouldn't say nothing to nobody. I hate everyone. No, really knew. Really knew. Like, Moffitt's pissed. I'd sit there. Like I hate
That's
it.
good
I
though.
hate
That's
it.
that's a competitor. That's
Hated
fine.
everybody.
That's fine. We got another one, Lloyd?
We got a bunch.
All right, let's get a few more.
Ask him him. Is BK on the hot seat if we lose Saturday?
Who's paying the tab?
I love that question.
You didn't go
I love
raise
that question.
You didn't
Who's
go
paying
raise
the
the
tab?
taxes. Listen, hot seat as far as fired. No. Is it gonna get real loud? Yes. He's not getting fired this year. Like so I told you, you deal with it.
The only thing that worries me, and I saw it at the Alabama game. Now, granted, it was raining, and granted, it was a blowout. But when you don't have butts in the seats, is whenever the seat gets hot, right? Whenever.
Well, when you get beat by 30 at home,
Right.
there ain't gonna be no butts
it looked
in the
like
seat.
it looked like Woodlawn was playing Lehigh.
There ain't gonna be no butts in the seat.
You know,
when
and
you get beat there.
exactly,
Yeah.
and that's whenever the seats start getting hot when people quit showing up.
Yeah, but
And until
But they
and
didn't. They did not show up. They just left early.
right, but that looks bad.
It's not worse because
looks bad.
it looks bad, but it's not worse because the tab is still getting paid. My point is, if they're not showing up, that's a completely different conversation.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah, yeah.
So
and you're gonna do more harm than good if you get rid of him right now because you're gonna set LSU back again, and you're trying to
you
get
still
out
got
of
to pay
it.
players. If you go do it, that's
Right.
That's all kind of in the same pool. If I'm understanding it right, like the 10 million that would buy him out.
75 million.
Yeah, but yeah, it's $10 million a year. My bad.
10 million.
The 70.
I'll bounce so that I fraud myself.
No, I would imagine they have a payment plan in his contract. I don't think you got to write him a $70 million check.
No, yeah,
like I'm sure there's you pay it incrementally and this and that. But
pay 'em.
that same pot goes to players too. So you're not only getting set back on hiring a new coach cap, money wise, but you're getting set back on paying players money wise.
of course.
So I think there's a lot of convolution, but I think the seat gets extremely hot, and I don't think it's going to happen Vanderbilt Oklahoma game. But like if we don't win Vandy and Oklahoma, which I hope to God we do, because 8-4 is a lot different than 6-6.
No, that's
I
what I
watched
said.
Will Campbell's interview the other day. And Will
It was
like-
great.
It was great. I thought he did. A good
It was a
job.
great interview.
Man, he when they asked him some tough questions. Man,
He
And-
should. You're the player that's gonna get interviewed.
right.
Nobody needs to talk. Just
Right.
you talk.
And they asked him some tough questions. I'm sitting there like, damn, like that's a tough question. For a young guy that's in his position. Yeah, but he said it. 8-4 is a lot different than 6-6. If you go 6-6, and next year, like you got a big game and there's not many people in the stands, man, that's tough. Like,
I'm gonna tell you right now. Here's where the noise will get loud next year. It's not. It won't be that.
Yeah,
it won't
right.
be this year.
Right.
I can tell you when the noise will get loud next year.
Yeah.
That first, either SEC
Oh, you gotta
loss,
win that, dude. Oh yeah.
either that first SEC loss or if it's a non-SEC loss, that's a given. I don't really think we all know that.
Well,
that's
he
gonna
has
loud.
to be Clemson tomorrow.
But my point is let there be an SEC loss that isn't to someone that you were expected to beat and/or that's at home. It's going to get loud because you don't have Alabama at home next year.
Right.
So like that's when it's going to get loud because let's think about it. If it's non-SEC, that means it's probably coming before October. It's going to get loud.
Yeah.
If it comes at home and it's not, you don't get Ole Miss at home next year. Like I don't know who it's going to be, but it's not going to be Ole Miss. It's not going to be Alabama. So who is it going to be that you're going to get here? Maybe you got to go on the road. That'd be tough. That can kind of be, unless you get blown out, that can kind of be, take one of them first SEC losses at home against somebody that people expect you to beat, whether they're a good team or not. It's going to get loud.
And you got a lot of our fans look at it from a very micro perspective. Like, you got a bad taste in your mouth after Alabama. You got a bad taste in your mouth after Florida. But if you zoom out, he's really not, hasn't been terrible when you zoom out over the 3 years he's been.
No, he hasn't.
Like, his record, is not terrible. I mean, you can compare him to early Nick Saban. You can compare him to Marcus Freeman at Notre Dame. You can compare him, I'm just naming guys. But, it's not terrible. And
It's the games. The issue is the games that he's supposed to win. He needs to win, and he hasn't won. He's lost the Florida game. He lost
what you thought of him before, everything that he said that people have said he can't win the big one because he don't have the big players
Right.
and this and that. And I'm not even saying that he does yet, especially in this conference when you compare him to other rosters in the conference. But I am saying now they took that, I guess, those glasses and those goggles off because you now get to put on the LSU ones, and people expected that was just going to get fixed like that. And it hasn't yet. And I think that's why the noise is like, oh, he still doesn't win that game.
Yeah.
You zoom out, I don't think it's as bad. And you zoom out even more and look at LSU's history. Coach Miles had a lot of early success because of what Saban did and what he put into place and the players he got over here. I mean, he had it
after
People don't
03
think that's a thing. Yeah, I don't know why people. Don't
I think it's a thing.
No, it's not a thing. It's a 100% a thing.
Like after 03, Saban had a machine, and that machine ran on for a good while, right? He created a culture. He created a dynasty that Coach Miles was able to keep going, right?
Denzel drunk in flight and run that football team.
Right after Saban left, absolutely.
It takes a lot to steer it off.
So then
track, basically.
Coach O comes and freaking wins and has one of the best teams ever. So you take those transitions, and the transitions from Nick to Les and then Les to Coach O have actually been very
right. But the transition from O to it was
been
closer,
a lot different.
It was closer when Brian Kelly took this team over. It was closer to what it was when Saban took it over after '99 than it was when O took it over after Les.
I agree.
Because
I agree.
People don't realize the situation that it was in whenever O fucked it up.
Why don't people realize that?
Because they're looking at it from a microscope.
Because of the brand you spoke about.
Right.
Yeah, exactly.
The brand has grown to something that's been so big, so in your face that you just expected that everything that's going on inside the building is what the brand. And at that moment, that shit had dipped.
No doubt.
Very far.
And I'm not
I think
saying
people
it,
don't understand that.
And I'm not saying it was 99. I still think it was a better situation than 99 because
Well,
you're
yeah,
coming
you
off
got
a 3 and 8.
Dude, you got the facilities.
Right.
You got the infrastructure.
But the
you
situation,
got a lot
having
different.
a team that has less than 50% of your roster intact when you have a wide receiver playing quarterback in the bowl game, right? Because you don't have an opportunity to play another quarterback.
I mean, we can speak about the portal, but let's be completely honest. Like that year, just that year, and I'm not saying that you obviously ended up getting a good one, but just that year, who the hell are you gonna get to come play when you can't even tell them you got a quarterback?
Right.
Who's coming play?
Right.
So who else are you gonna get? Who the hell else are you gonna get when you can't tell them, hey, I got somebody else I can match you with? They didn't have a roster.
To even recruit too.
So there's a lot that goes into that kind
Like
of
that
stuff.
first year recruiting doesn't even count. You can't even count that as a year.
No.
Like LSU was just lucky to be. I can't believe they made it to the SC championship game that year. It was wild.
Dude, who was
Napoleon.
John Trey Kirkland was the quarterback. of the whole game.
I know.
So when you
He
zoom,
threw a touchdown pass.
Zooming out though, it's not as bad as what LSU fans
No
know,
doubt.
in my opinion.
All right.
Spin that thing around real quick.
2 more questions or one more question? What are you gonna do?
Sure. It's late.
I know. One more question.
Well, real quick, Jared, you talked about the schedule for LSU. Listen to how bizarre this is. So you go at Clemson.
This is next year.
Next year,
Perfect.
2025.
So it's out. It is out.
Yeah.
Or the games, just not when they're played.
Yeah, that's
right?
not what time they are.
Yeah.
But so you go at Clemson, and you talked about your first SEC loss. If he loses that game and loses 4 straight openers, buddy, he's gonna be. I know, but I'm saying but that's the thing that he really can't afford another one of those. But then you go versus Louisiana, so at home versus Tech, at home versus Southeastern, at home versus Western Kentucky, at home versus Arkansas, at home versus Florida, at home versus South Carolina.
No, that's not right. No.
At home versus Texas A&M.
They're all at home.
And then
That's not
Alabama,
right.
Ole Miss, Oklahoma, Vanderbilt all on the road.
But they're not.
They're not home for 2 months.
They haven't organized them yet. That's who you're playing. They just haven't organized how
They say they put the stadium names underneath it.
I know that.
But that's not
that's
order.
That's not the order of the game.
Oh, maybe
you see what I'm
not.
saying?
Yeah,
like,
but say, ain't no way.
That would be crazy.
no,
no way
they can't say,
yeah.
the first half of the season you can play at home, and the second half of the season you can play on the road.
Thank God.
Yeah, so that's the schedule. That's the teams that they are playing next year, but that's
Oh,
not
yes,
the,
that's TBA.
yeah, that's not the
way.
the organization of the schedule.
Well, then why have to do this?
Because it shows you who you're
We'll
playing.
put it in a you put it in a different way.
It shows you who you're
You
playing.
don't put them in order.
I was like, wait a minute. You just said 6
He
straight.
kept going. I'm like, they ain't got no 2 months at home straight.
And I'm like, damn, they're playing those 3 teams first? Like, they don't ever do that. No way.
And you named like 4 non-conference games.
Yeah, in a row.
Yeah, I was
Well,
like,
those are definitely at home.
I was like, well, wait.
Yeah, but not in a row.
No, my
Yeah.
point was, I was
Oh,
like,
yeah.
well, when did they start conference? In Halloween? Like, that's not happening.
Yeah, I was like, wait, they play Louisiana Tech, Southeastern, and Western Kentucky all in a row?
After they already played Clemson, I'm like, when they start conference play? Like, that's not.
Get Bryce Underwood ready, dude. That's perfect. That's the perfect time.
Hey, that would be great. Set up. Oh, man. I was like, damn, I can go to any home games those first 3 weeks.
Does Nussmeier come back?
Yeah.
That's the conversation we had. I don't know.
I missed that.
No, we've had it beforehand, before even, like, 2 shows ago.
Yeah.
I mean, if Bryce Underwood's coming, And so Nuss's backup right now is
Well, it's AJ Swan, I guess, like in mid game, like if you needed to do what he did last game where he came out for a play and he comes in.
but it's really future
I
Collins?
think it's Colin Hurley. I think that they want him to be the number 2.
There's a chance they both leave.
But they're probably going to be gone.
AJ
Bryce Underwood's
Swan
gonna
and
come.
Garrett Nussmeier would leave, and then you would have
Hurley or probably Underwood would be the starter.
and Underwood.
But you don't want I don't want a true freshman starting quarterback
No.
unless he is like the guy like this. But
what's
how
the-
many have you seen of that? You
No,
know what I
no,
mean?
but what's the guy? Though?
Right, like, how many
No,
true
Even
freshmen?
when you see it, what does the
I mean,
guy
like
do?
my best quarterback from memory, obviously at LSU was Joe Burrow, and he was a 5th-year senior.
Name me the most successful.
So like,
true
I'll take
freshman quarterback that you could think
Yeah,
of right now.
I mean,
Or do you go find a guy? Or do you? No.
Name me the most successful.
That's what I'm saying. I don't know. I don't have
I'm not
one.
talking about just at LSU. Like, just think of college ball.
I'm trying.
Yeah, I don't know.
Trevor Lawrence.
I mean, Tua had the one game. You can't count that,
That don't count.
right? Yeah, I guess Trevor Lawrence maybe.
And that ACC
Was Bryce Young? Did he ever play as a true freshman?
true freshman? I don't think so.
Thought he was. Thought he started as a true
Did he?
freshman. I think he did.
I don't know. I'll look and I'll say, and he
But
has
he
he has
who
lit the
is-
world on
That
fire.
was COVID. Didn't count.
I got one that comes to mind for me, and I'm trying to figure out what their record was that year. But the only one I can think of that was like really good, Matt Stafford.
I was thinking of Matt
That's
Stafford
the
too.
only one that I can think of.
But it's hard
How
hard
far
to do
back
that,
do you
right?
wanna go?
Now here's the deal.
You even thinking of him, that's 15.
You can
I think
start-
Peyton Manning was the great true freshman starter.
That's another 15 years
Yeah,
before him.
how far back you
You
wanna
can
go?
So
start-
if you, especially if you're talking about this league,
No doubt.
I don't
Hey,
want
look.
that. You're not talking about a national
Okay, so
championship.
do you
You can
go
start a true
get-
freshman quarterback if you have.
Everything around it.
You go look at what Nico's doing. He hasn't lit the world on fire, but they're right in the playoff mix because they have a world-class defense.
Guess what? He's not a true
and he's not a
freshman.
true freshman. He's a redshirt
That's
freshman.
my
Do you
point.
go? Do you go?
You bring Nussmeier
You let-
back and you let him develop a
Right.
little bit. He'll
No.
have plays.
Or do you let Nussmeier and
They don't
AJ
let them.
leave? Or no, let's say he chooses to leave. Let's say he wants to go. I don't know what.
Listen to me, Nuss ain't leaving unless he's going to the draft.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah,
But like, let's say he wants to go to the draft.
Then he
and
wants to go to the
goes,
draft.
And he doesn't want to come back. I don't know. I'm just talking. Do you go find another guy out of the portal?
you go find a guy in the portal and you have a competition,
With him and Bryce.
and yeah, Bryce beats him out. The guy's the backup.
God, that would be a hell of a conversation.
But in that kind of like what if Nussmeier says, "Hey, I want to go to the draft,"
For sure.
you definitely go find a guy.
But
out
I
of the
think
portal.
Nuss, based off of his experience and what his dad has, right? Talking to his dad's probably telling him, "Hey, you know what it is. You got to have more starts in college. You've had 1 year. You've had some good moments. You've had some bad moments. Look what everybody's done year two."
Here, I'll
was
tell you
the-
this. The
who's
only
the-
thing is this is where it becomes crazy at. Let's be honest. Like before the season, when you looked at the quarterback landscape, you probably looked at somebody like Shedeur and you were like, at best, probably the 3rd quarterback to get drafted. He's probably going to be
He's
the
the
one.
one.
Guys like Carson Beck have fallen. Guys like some of these other guys have fallen. So at the end of the year, when it's all said and done, and they start looking at some game tape, and they say, "Hey, can you come throw here?" And all of a sudden, if there's a run in sense of like, "Oh, this might be a guy,"
Right.
or maybe if there's a spot where it's like, "Hey, you could land here
Right.
and sit for 3 years, but you're getting paid this up front."
It would
It's
be-
not a world out of craziness where you're like, "Damn, Nuss is gone."
I think
Yeah.
he. I think. I mean, he. I think he could go.
I think he could
No,
go
no, I think it's
a good chance.
I think the smart part, if he has to be thrusted into an NFL lineup next year, it's a terrible
No,
decision.
but
Unless
if
you're
he
just
gets-
looking at money,
Right.
it's a terrible decision for him to go.
But if he gets drafted and gets to play behind somebody,
If he
for a
gets
little
drafted,
bit-
and
That's what I'm
he gets to go be Jordan Love.
yeah, right.
That's honestly almost a no-brainer. I mean, Nuss reminds me a lot of Baker Mayfield, and I think he could go over there and be like a Baker Mayfield in the NFL. I'm saying,
But Baker
comp
runs a little bit
wise.
more. Runs a little bit more than he does.
I think Nuss could run.
Yeah, but he just
we've
doesn't.
seen it for 10 weeks.
We know he can. He just doesn't.
But that's what I'm saying. But Baker wasn't number one overall. I'm saying from a player comp perspective, but how Baker, his productivity in the NFL, I think Garrett could have similar productivity.
Yeah. No, listen, I like Garrett. I think he's gonna. I think he will be in the NFL. And look, like
No,
you said,
he will be an NFL
yeah.
player. It's just a matter of when.
And so, and look, you
That's
talk
a-
about Carson Beck. I do. I think he fell off, but He played much better last week. The way he finished the season, I wouldn't be shocked if you saw him be the number 2 quarterback taken. Still,
Cam Ward.
I still think. I bet you, if he plays well towards the back end.
Cam Ward has a great arm.
Yeah.
I think when you actually break down the tape,
Exactly.
there's a lot of somewhat kind of flaws to the game right now that
Dan Mullen
you just
said-
want to see him kind of like get to the next level.
Yeah, and Dan Mullen actually said it pretty well in the interview that I was listening to him talk. He said he's got unbelievable talent. Like, he can throw the ball and make every throw. I have got to see him play in rhythm. He has all he does is sit back there, run around, and then just wait till someone gets open. He goes, that doesn't work in the NFL. Like, you saw it happen with
Johnny Manziel.
Well, not Johnny Manziel, but Caleb
Williams.
Yeah, Caleb Williams. You know, hasn't worked out. He's not bad, but you know what I mean. Like, he held on to the football. Right.
Who was the quarterback at Georgia?
Unless you're Kyler Murray and you're just a human joystick.
Who was the quarterback at Georgia last year?
Carson Beck.
The guy
Same guy.
that,
He's still there right now.
no, not okay. The year before, the
Stetson
old guy.
Bennett.
Stetson Bennett. Does Nuss come back and be like? Could he be like a Stetson Bennett? Older guy come in like.
For sure.
I mean, I think he could do that.
I think he'd be better than Stetson Bennett.
His ceiling's way higher than
Yeah.
Stetson Bennett.
Yeah.
But you see, but like you got an older guy like. I don't know. I think more from a dynamic perspective, he could do that.
He didn't have Georgia's defense.
Nuss is an NFL quarterback. It's literally just a matter of when.
Yeah.
Does it happen after this year, or does it happen after another year of another full season of starting? That's really where the question lies.
Right.
Nuss will be a first-round pick this year. It's a matter of if he wants to go 30th or if he wants to go 3rd. If he comes back, he has an opportunity to go 3rd. If he goes out, there's not enough quarterbacks in the draft. Somebody will take him in the first round.
But he may be better suited to go 30th and play behind somebody for a few years.
I would imagine had the experience of college.
No
and all
doubt.
The trappings of success that he
Lloyd.
waited for.
Lloyd, I'll be honest with you. He's had the experience of college for 3 years already.
No,
5
he's
years. 4 years.
4 years. I think he's experienced college. I don't think that part of it is a selling point for him at all.
And he's got to have a whole new offensive line next
He's
year.
done it as a bench guy. He's done it as a starter. I don't think the experience of college is something that still he wants to check off on the book.
I'm saying before Texas A&M, this was a real conversation because he was probably going to be the 3rd quarterback taken.
Right.
Now it's fringe first round. But because of the way the NFL is, he'll go in the first round because everybody gets quarterback horny and they want one. I'm saying if he comes back and you see the development from Jaden Daniels, Joe Burrow, all of those things, like there's
Listen, I agree. I think there is some benefit for
But I
him
know what
coming
you're
back.
saying. Like, yeah, if
It's
you want
just-
to go to the league, go to the league.
Yeah.
Like, you'll be able to
We'll
start.
see.
Yeah,
We'll
you
see
won't
what he
have
wants to do.
start. You can sit behind somebody and you'll be an NFL player.
Right. The point in saying all this is he's going to have options, and people want to say that he's not good or whatever. He's going to have a chance to be a first round quarterback.
I wonder too. Like, and I don't know if it'll ever change. And I'm not saying that he's going to be the starter of the change. I just wonder if there ever will be a mindset shift when it comes to quarterbacks in the NFL because of how much these guys are getting paid in the draft and at the top end of the draft, and what's expected out of you as soon as you show up. If these guys will start being okay with saying, hey, I'll come out a little prematurely if that means I get to get into the system and learn it and watch, as opposed to me waiting another year. Maybe I get paid more up front, but I may get spit out right then and there too. You know what I mean? I wonder if guys are maybe start that switch. I don't know. I'm not saying that he will. I'm just saying it's a conversation to be had.
No doubt. All right.
I think that's a good one.
I think that's good. Good one to end on. All right. Let's get to the seggies and get out of
If you
here.
want to do it or not. Hold on. Give me a second.
We don't have. Should we do
I
them?
have them. I just have to pull them up.
Because, I mean, we went way over time.
Yeah.
We haven't done this in a minute. Lloyd seems like he's mad that we did it.
No, not at all.
He used to be the one to try to do it.
No, I'm excited. I just
What else? What, we're 15 minutes over?
16 minutes over.
Let me find this one first. Now I have a plan. I screenshot what I want when I see it on paper.
Perfect.
So now go to the account.
So Tariq Skubal, his wife, surprised him with a car for his birthday. Basically means he surprised himself with a car for his birthday. Right? So that was great. And then he was a unanimous vote to win the American League Cy Young.
Of course.
He won the Triple Crown, I think. I think he was like best ERA, strikeouts, and wins.
You think he
Pretty
did
wild.
surprise himself?
No, she bought the car with his money.
Oh,
And he's
you
got
don't know
so.
that, dude. She could have a very.
She could be rich. You're right.
That's so sexist.
What does she do?
We don't know. It's sexist to presume she doesn't have a job.
I don't know if
but
that's
it says
sexist.
Lloyd.
No, it's
This guy's a
sexist.
Cy Young.
Yeah, the guy's a millionaire.
He's on his rookie contract. I'm with Lloyd. You don't know that.
Exactly.
You don't know that.
I think she's pretty comfortable with the fact that he just won. He's a unanimous winner of the Cy
What did
Young.
he get?
0 down. I think they're good for.
What did he get?
I don't know. They never showed the video. I mean, they never showed
down.
the.
We cash
You know my husband is? I think he's good for.
we cash it checks, dog. Straight cash.
It looks like a Range
He'll come
Rover.
back next week and pay it.
Straight cash, homie.
Oh my
Back in the
goodness.
day,
It looks like a
it could've
Range.
been Mikey, but it is if you would who pumped and dumped his own stock on Dogecoin. He just left me 30K. He pumped it up to $30,000 and then sold it.
He's twerking over that. Yo, he's twerking over rugging. He just rugged everyone who's twerking. Yo, honestly, respect. Honestly.
Wait, what happened?
Has a coin
No way.
pumped on his stream like this guy.
Yo, he's saying no way. He's getting cookie.
He cashed out. And everybody was like, oh,
The kid's from Baton Rouge.
He just left me
I think he works out at Traction.
Wait, so he's created a cryptocurrency,
Wait, why is that the mistake if he made the money
of
on
the
it?
people that were like, I'll follow this kid.
and people gave him $30,000.
The stock went up to $30,000 and he cashed it out. And everybody was
You
like,
can
pump-
buy.
classic pump and dump.
You can be 12 and buy crypto.
Yeah, I mean this.
Crypto is booming right
That's the whole
now.
point of it. It's
Crypto's at 94.
It is a.
Bitcoin is at 94.
And it's led by 12-year-olds.
Well, that's not. That wasn't Bitcoin.
That was poo coin.
Shit coin. Unless he's in Baton Rouge and goes to Traction.
Dude, I think I've seen that kid at Traction.
Milkshakes there.
No, I'm serious. There's a kid at Traction that like is super smart and apparently writes code on
This
computers.
is that
And he
kid.
probably created a bit. I mean, it looks just like him. That's. I don't know the kid. I've seen him.
Maybe.
And they're like, yeah, that kid writes code. He's like 12.
Wow.
I don't know why that's so funny to me.
That's a good mistake today. Brought to you by
What are
Jesse
12-year-olds doing when we were our age?
Not
Curtain
that.
call. Curtain call brought to you by our friends at Perkins and McKenzie.
Yo, he's saying no way. He's getting cookie.
He just flicked everybody off.
And cashed out.
12-year-olds these days, man.
Boy.
And this guy on the left screen is like shocked.
He's reading the street.
Yo, he's twerking over rugging. He just rugged everyone.
Is anybody streaming
Yo,
history?
honestly, respect. Honestly.
It's crazy.
That's awesome.
Wow, he just stole.
Yeah, we were on LimeWire trying to download one picture of
I had a razor.
Pamela Anderson.
I had a razor.
Yeah, scooter.
No, a flip phone.
Yeah.
Like a razor flip phone. You could literally, it was the only phone you could throw 50 yards, take it up, and call your dad.
That's true.
No, the Nokia.
Nokia.
The brick.
The green genie.
The brick with the snake
So
on it.
true.
That thing.
Playing
You-
Snake on the phone was woo,
You
top
could.
tier.
The battery would last for 3 days.
Oh yeah.
Hey,
You could
blue,
pull one out of a drawer right now and it would work.
No doubt.
Bluetooth somebody a ringtone, and it would take like 10 minutes.
Polyphonic ringtone. Where
That's
many.
fun.
It was
We're all cut from the same.
God, it
Now
was,
they're
it was
writing
great.
code, man.
All right, curtain call. You got one?
Yeah, I do, but y'all go ahead. I gotta pull it up.
I got
Well,
one. I'll lead
okay.
it off here. What we are
Please, 'cause
through the,
I mean,
I don't know, however many weeks, 11, 12 weeks in the NFL. I think it's pretty damn cool that you think back. It's so funny to me. Like, people are like, Joe is unbelievable, and Joe is damn good. He is unbelievable. He's probably a top 2 or 3 quarterback in the league. But through this amount of time so far in the league this year, he had 2 of the top wide receivers, the 2 top wide receivers in the NFL on that same team. And it's still true to this day, because through this day in the league right now, you got Jamar Chase and you got Justin Jefferson, who are still leading the league in receiving yards respectively right now.
And
All
not even
that
close.
talent was on the same team. Yeah, and they're about 150, 170 yards above whoever's number 3 on that list right now.
You'd feel like a real asshole if you didn't win a natty.
Unreal.
Kind of like 2023.
Dude, look at Patrick Queen.
Killing it.
Hey, how about Mike Tomlin?
I
One
know.
man's trash, another man's treasure.
Glad he's one
that
of
might
us.
be my curtain
Hey,
call
I'm glad.
right
I'm
there.
glad he's
Give
ours.
me a curtain call.
That's awesome. And how I would. That's a coach. I'd love to play for Mike Tomlin.
Yeah.
That was a question from earlier. That's my curtain call. Patrick Queen balling out. Pittsburgh Steelers. He looks good in that freaking black and white.
Hey, he plays on another level, and he's got another gear in him this year, which is cool to see.
My current call is to Chris Sale. Chris Sale was
written off.
Written
left
off.
for dead.
Written off. Didn't write back though. Geno Smith. Shout out. He was banged up for a few years in a row. Didn't throw really well. Used to be one of the most dominant pitchers in the game. Comes back this year for the Braves and is back to his old form. Throwing upper 90s again, striking everybody out. Wins the Cy Young Award at 35 or however old he is.
34.
I think he's older than us. Older than me.
He was drafted after me, so 34 maybe, 34, 35 probably.
Yeah, probably my age. Maybe you're older
I
than
remember
me.
he was throwing like 86.
Yeah, but he was throwing 97 again this year.
Curtain call to this guy.
Oh yeah. Wild. Joe's Pizza. I'm going to New York in a couple weeks. Maybe I'll go try Joe's Pizza.
Wait, what's the guy? That's
A little saucy.
Kyler Murray.
A little saucy.
Wait, he
That's
didn't know
Kyler.
this.
It's his bye week, so he's just eating pizza in New York, and they have like two people around him like filming. I guess Kyler Murray's taking the streaming.
They don't know it's him.
This guy has no
He's
idea.
not from here,
He's from Switzerland.
so he's just having their talking shop.
Hey, I love that.
Yeah.
Talking pizza shop.
I love seeing
And then this guy was like commenting on the video. He goes, "Hey, that's me in the video." I knew something was going on with all the cameras and stuff, and so then Kyler like responded to him and offered him. Is that what I didn't mean to hijack your.
That's exactly what happened.
He said he's like any game that you want to go to, you want tickets, let me know. I'll send you tickets, whatever. Because they talked for a while, and like. I'm sure Kyle liked that. Like this guy, me and this guy are just having a conversation. This is awesome. You don't have to you don't look at me differently. That's great.
No idea who he is.
Back in the Call of Duty lobby.
That is
doubt.
awesome.
Speaking of cut from a different cloth, I grew up in those Xbox lobbies in Call of Duty. Tough life.
Yeah.
Just getting worn out.
The halo was nuts. All right. We're 30 minutes over. We appreciate y'all. We love y'all. We thank you for the support. Please like and subscribe to our YouTube channel. If you can't watch us, if you like listening to us, we're gonna get your.
We told you we make it up.
Yeah. Listen, we cut Monday short. Went a little overtime today. We'll be back live in studio on Friday from 1 to 2-ish. Talking gambling. I know we didn't really get to hit on our mic'd up parlay, which hit again. This weekend. Gonna go for two in a row this coming weekend. So tune in. We're back on the winning ways. Enjoy the rest of your Wednesday. Getting a little chilly out there. It's vest season. That's why I wore it today.
That's why you got the sirs.
That's why I got it. That's why I got the vest.
That's why you got the sirs.
The sirs, because the vest?
Maybe.
Maybe. Maybe. That's Clay, not me.
He's an insurance guy.
Yeah, Clay's a stockbroker.
Looks like he definitely has a membership to it.